I just wake up in the morning and I yell a lot, even though it's way too early. It's fun though. Wake up, wake up, wake up!
Wake up, wake up, wake up. What is going on? It is awesome. It is finally Friday. I saw somebody say that in the chat. I think it was Jared Martin. He said it's finally Friday, man. I'm so glad to be back home. I had a great time in Arkansas hanging out with our friends, David and Christy, and had an awesome time live streaming Arkansas Strong Record Breakers. Some people call it the Arkansas Strongest Man. That's actually, I don't believe they have I don't think that they have an Arkansas Strongest Man competition, but whatever. The point is, had a great time out there, but it is good to be back in La Casa, where I belong. Um, in fact, to celebrate being back home, I didn't leave the house yesterday. It was amazing. I loved it. Like I did go outside because I had to check the mail, but I did not leave the property. It was a beautiful feeling. I didn't feel trapped at all. And if I didn't have to go pick up my car from the shop and getting some maintenance stuff done on it, if I didn't have to do that, I would not leave the house again today. It's just so awesome. So anyway, whatever. I am John Greaves III, and you are up way too early with Garage Gym Life. Today, I'm going to be catching up with my homies. We've got Coach Carp supposed to be coming on here, and I'm just waiting for him to jump backstage, and we're going to bring him on. And then later on in the day, at the final hour, we got Ashley Hromiak, 332 herself, is back, and we're going to talk about some sciencey stuff. But this is, in the meantime, while you're doing this is a Garage Gym Life production. And so I need you guys to go ahead and do the things that you need to do. All right, you know all the stuff. First of all, I need you to hit that like button, hit subscribe. We are just under 40,000 subscribers, which would put us a little over 10,000 away from the goal I set for the year, which is to reach 50,000. So let me check actually, because I want to be able to tell you guys exactly what the deal is. Let me check real fast, see exactly where we are. I haven't looked at my dashboard today. So, which is crazy because I normally look at it as soon as I wake up, but I didn't. I had other stuff on my mind. Okay, so we are at 39,000 as of November 1st. Today, November 1st, we're at 39,303 subscribers. We gained 1,035 subscribers in the last 28 days, and I'm going to give all of the credit to you guys for sharing the episodes, sharing the channel videos, and for also commenting, because when you comment, YouTube recommends the videos to other people. So I appreciate you guys 100% first and foremost. And if not for you, the channel would not be growing the way it is, but we need to keep that momentum going. So we need a little over or a little under 700 more subscribers so that we can hit the 40,000 subscriber mark. And I want to get it done. So let's push that. All right. So keep on sharing, liking, so like the video yourself, and then subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and then share the video with somebody else so that we can keep this thing going. Now let me jump over here. Let's get rid of that. Jump over here and let's check out those of you who are in the chat. Do a shout out to the live chat. So first of all, let's scroll up to the top. Got my guard. Carlos looks like he was the first one in the building. He says, "Wake up, wake up, wake up." Represent for the Central Time Zone in the building as usual. Jared Martin said, "Yeah, I knew it was you, Jerry." He said, "Finally, it's Friday." Yeah, man. We made it through another week. We made it through another week. Oh, okay. So one thing, since I was at the competition, I had my Zoom mic with the Zoom P4 mic with me, right? And in case anybody, any of you nerds want to know, I got an Audio Technica. I have an Audio Technica, and it's connected to the Zoom P4, and I use that, right? But I had to adjust the levels because there's all this ambient noise around me. So if my sound is too low, please make sure that you guys let me know that because I like it for my mic to sound nice. All right. Anyway, so and I said all that because I had that in the chat. Moving along, we got Jonathan Black. I'm not sure if Jonathan and Jennifer are here, but if they are, welcome to both of you. Jonathan's an excellent power lifter. And he says, good morning, guys. Good to see you here on the show. Jonathan was actually on the show a couple of weeks ago. So I love I love it when somebody comes on the show and then that motivates them to actually watch the show, because that means they became a fan. Because and I'll say this to you guys too. Again, this is another shout out to you guys, because everybody who comes on the show talks about how much they enjoy it. They love how they get to interact with you guys. They love the fact that they get these live questions. And I want to tell you that people are first of all, the fact that we're on so early is a factor, right? So, people don't really like getting up early. But you kind of can't really call it up way too early with Garage Gym Life if it's not early. So what a lot of these shows, I actually was shocked and appalled to find out that Up and Adams, show I really like with Kay Adams, is pre-recorded. They recorded the night before. It's horrible. That's nasty work. I don't like that. I thought it was live, but it's not. I think Good Morning Football and Good Morning America are live. And what's that show with Kelly and Mark? I think that's live as well. But see, those shows all happen later in the day. This is like a 6 a.m. wake up, so a lot of times it's difficult for me to drag people out of bed to get them up way too early. But that's kind of the thing, because I'm trying to catch you guys on your way to work. And as you're getting your day started, help you have that fresh injection of motivation to get you through this last day of the week, get you to the weekend. So Jonathan got some wrist wraps in from Bells of Steel, and he said he just got them yesterday. They're going to start getting used on his next bench day. I saw that you tagged me on Instagram, so that's why I made a note to myself to ask you about them. And by the way, I also put a link in the chat, in the live chat. And if you guys want me to, if you're watching on replay and you would like for me to add this link to the description, I will do it. But it's a video from multiple world record holder Jason Mike, who actually designed my favorite wrist wraps. And he shows how to wrap your wrists so you can get the most out of the bench. And that is something that I started wrapping my wrist the way he recommends. And I don't think that my bench press increased because I just magically put on muscle, because I changed how I wrap my wrist. And I don't think that my bench press increased because my other technique just spontaneously improved. But because I wrapped my wrist the way he said, I was able to better express the strength I already had. And that's really what it is. It's kind of like if you play football without a helmet, right? It's going to change how you play the game. But if you put a helmet on, then the things that you're willing to do now that you got a helmet on kind of expand, right? So that to me is how, it's like the difference in using wrist wraps when you use them properly. And most people, I'll be honest with you, even some people who I have a lot of regard for, wrap their wrists incorrectly. Here's a hint. If you wrap your wrists for the bench press and you can do like this with your wrist, if you're listening on Podbean, I'm moving my wrist back and forth. So if you're just listening instead of watching, I'm moving my wrist back and forth. So if you can move your wrist like this and you wrap your wrist, you did it wrong. All right. So I see the legend himself, Eric Carpenter, is backstage. He's getting ready to go. So we're going to bring him on here in a second. But let's go ahead and finish saying good morning to you guys. Looks like Jonathan's a fan of the Bells of Steel Hydra. I like that. I think they had a Hydra at Bells of Steel. I think they had a Hydra at Home Gym Con. And I'm fairly certain they did. And that's where I used it. I used their power rack at the first Home Gym Con, and I believe that was the Hydra that year. And so yeah, I like that. I'm a fan of that power rack. Carlos said, "Let's go." Talking about the channel growth, man. I appreciate it, my man. And oh, look at you. All right, I hear you, Carlito. He says, "Bienvenido a casa, hermano." And man, hey, thank you. It's great to be home, brother. I'm telling you. All right. And he says, like, subscribe, and share. Listen to this man. Listen to him. Do what he says. And I appreciate you guys. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. I told you guys already what's going on. We've got some stuff in between, but like I said, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get Carp on here because he's got to get out of here and get his workday started. So let's go ahead and get that first guest theme rolling. All right. So you guys give a warm welcome to the man himself. He's number one in your hearts. Coming straight out of the live chat and the Carps Gym YouTube channel. Go, Carps! Wow! Wow! You don't believe me here? Wow! No, I cannot hear you. Hang on. I need you to turn your mic on. Because I don't have you. Oh, hang on a second. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got you, my man. Carp Dizzle.
Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
What's up? Hey, I am up. I'm ready to go. You got your go-go juice there with you, so we ready, man.
Yeah, I was hoping I was going to have a coffee mug next time I came on the show, but
man, dude,
with all the things going on out there,
So actually, you know what? This is actually a good time to let's just go ahead and talk about that first. So
Sure.
I originally planned on talking about your YouTube channel first, but I want to get this out of the way. All right. So first of all, it says Carp on Eastern time. No, I did not drag him into my time machine. He's just up early. Anyway, so and we got a special guest in the audience. All right, we got Jake from Garage Gym Radio. Say he is getting his workout in with what he said is the best morning show out there. Hey, my
Big
man,
Jake,
thank you. And I'm gonna see if we got Ashley coming on later on today. We're gonna see if we can get Ashley to reveal that announcement that she's been teasing for Home Gym Con later on. But let's talk about this mug situation. All right, so you guys told me you wanted mugs, so I went ahead and I added the mugs to the Garage Gym Life store, which is a Teespring store. So what that means for anybody who's watching this and doesn't know, a lot of the YouTube content creators who have a merch shelf we don't actually like have products in our basement. Okay, I don't have like all this stuff stocked downstairs, hoping that you potentially buy something. Instead, we have a fulfillment company that will print it on demand, meaning they make the stuff when you order it. And that's got a number of challenges, one of which is I am completely cut out of the loop because they look at it like they're protecting the customer's privacy, right? Because they don't want you to like buy something and then, I mean, obviously, if you buy something, now I got your email address. Now I can just send you emails. That's how that's how all the other companies do it to you, right? So they're trying to protect you from that. And so they don't give me any details about, number one, they don't give me your payment information. I don't have your credit card information. I don't have any of that. But then also, they don't give me any details about the order itself. So when I reached out to you earlier this week, I was like, I haven't heard them say anything about, hey, I got my mug or anything like that. And I like to kind of, my name is kind of attached to this. So I'm like, hey, man, so that's when I reached out to you and I reached out to Jared, like, hey, what's the deal with that you guys get your mugs? And that's when you told me they didn't get you the mug. So go ahead. I run companies through the mud when they have poor shipping and all that. So that doesn't exempt me. So tell everybody what happened, like what's going on with this mug situation on your end.
Okay, well, I ordered, I think it was back on 1st of October, it might have been the end of September. That whenever we first brought it up, I know Jared and some of the guys have been talking about it. So we ordered that day. I think that was the same day we had like 5 or 6 people join the YouTube channel or the whatever you call it, the 99 cents a month members, the members area. So yeah, that was all the same day that we ordered. And like me and Jared have been talking about wanting to get a coffee mug anyways. And so I ordered that, and then it's been, I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks, and Jared had said, hey man, I reached out to him. I haven't got anything either. And he asked for a refund, or he asked what was going on with shipping, I think is what happened. And they said, okay, well, sorry for the delay. We're going to refund you your $4.99 shipping. So once I talked to him, I did the same thing. I said I contacted him, emailed him back, and said, hey, it's been several weeks, we haven't heard anything, and they apologized and sent me the $4.99 back through PayPal. So I got that the same day I sent the email.
Okay, so you got your shipping, the amount you paid for shipping, you got that back at least. They refunded your shipping.
Yes, that was like 2 weeks ago, and they still haven't shipped it or anything. But that was after about 3 weeks of nothing.
Yeah. Right.
And then I talked to you, and you said, "Hey, man, something's going on. They're not being able to fulfill the orders. I would just recommend you guys get a refund." So I talked to Jared, and he had submitted his refund. So I said, "Okay." I talked to John. I'm gonna go ahead and submit mine too, and see what happens. Right. And then, so after I talked to you that night, it was on Tuesday or Wednesday night, and then I got up yesterday, and I'd already asked for an email. They'd already emailed me back saying, "We're going to forward you to the refund people, whatever. I'm not in charge of that, but we're going to forward you on to them." And the next morning at 8:35 or something, I got an email saying, "Hey, your item is shipped."
Yeah.
And then when you scroll down to the bottom, it says expected delivery October 5th. So they don't know what they're doing over there, I don't think.
Dude, so what I want to do is I don't want to. So because you guys have already actually, I'm going to say something that you're probably not going to hear from another channel. Do not order anything from my store. Okay? Not order. I mean, not nothing. Okay? Don't order anything. My dad is horrified if you heard me say that. Don't speak like that. That's a double negative. Not about that. Anyway, so we just want to show him this episode. But anyway, don't order anything from the Garage and Life store. Or if you want to order something, reach out to me first. Okay, so Jared says my audio is a little rough. Is it too loud, too soft?
It's a little muffled. It's a little bit muffled.
All right, that's what I need to know. All right, so let's, like I told you guys.
That's better.
I brought it down. Oh, yeah, because I'm leaning forward. I brought it down because, is that better? Is that better? Okay. So I turned it way down because when I was live streaming that strongman competition last week, there's all these screaming people behind me, and there's all kinds of crazy music and cars and all that. So I turned my mic down because it was picking up. I mean, everything. Side.
Yeah, I could hear some of it. Yeah.
Sidebar conversations. I was like, so it's like I was like, somebody's gonna say something reckless. So you gotta turn it down and try to let's filter that out. You never know. We had a lot going on that day. Somebody was pulling the mystery machine. There was a lot happening. I was like, let's just turn it down. All right. So what I can do is so I adjusted my level. So let me adjust them back up because I want you guys to hear me, even if I'm sitting back here. So is that all right? Is that good?
Yeah, that's way better than it was.
All right, cool. All right. So back to what I was saying. Don't order anything from my store. See how I picked that right back up. All right. Don't order anything from my store. Not the t-shirts, nothing. If you do want to order something, DM me on Instagram at Garage Gym Life first. Because I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm cut out of the loop. So if you guys order something and then you can't get it, I can't help you. So what I'm planning on doing is just basically not work. Once you guys get you said that they said they already sent the mug to you. I'm waiting until you get it, and then I'm gonna discontinue working with that brand, right? In the meantime, I've reached out to the company that makes our banners, and I asked them if they could make mugs. And then I've got another company that's local to me that could make mugs. But because of the situation, what's going to happen is I'll have to get it'll be a small batch. So it'll literally just be for the people on the show who watch the show regularly and who say, hey, I want a mug. So we just have to do it that way. I don't prefer doing it that way, but that's what we're going to have to do until I can find somebody who's got their life together and who can I don't like that, man. I don't. Yeah, when I tell you guys that makes me mad, I mean it makes me mad, and it makes me even madder when it's associated with me, because that's not up to the standards that I approve of. So it also means that if I go off on somebody else for bad shipping or whatever, you can say, well, that's how I treat myself and any company I use. So
yeah, I think I told you and Jared offline, I'm not holding my breath that actually shows up, but I don't think he got a shipping notification. So I don't know if he got his refund totally or not, but he submitted the refund thing the day before me. Then I submitted mine, And
Have you got your money back?
no, just that one shipping and not the rest of it.
I don't want to end until you guys have got your money back and everything's whatever, and your refund and everything. And then once you got that, then I'm like, all right, cool. Now I can cut ties. Because if I close my account, then I don't even have like a person to reach out to from that end. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go ahead. Actually, that's on my list of things to do today, to reach out to them and just basically, yell a lot.
Yeah.
So
hey, I got customers out here, man. You're messing me up,
dude. I was like, if I need to play the Recliner Rage audio during the call, I'll do it. So yeah, it makes me mad. Anyway, let's talk about happy stuff.
Let's do it.
I wanted to do that first because I want to make sure everybody understands. I apologize to you guys who have ordered a mug and who haven't gotten one, and I am trying to do what I can to address it. Okay, but let's jump to happier things, which is you, all carp all the time. So your YouTube channel, from what I could tell, has been around since 2017, October 2017. Were you actually making content then, or did you just like make a channel? You know, like you got to have like a channel, quote unquote, so that you could subscribe to other people's channels. So was it like that, or were you actually making content in October 2017?
No, I wasn't making content back then. I had just started a channel. I think I may have had 1 or 2 videos. I don't even know if they're still on there, but they weren't really like fitness or review type videos. They were just some personal videos. And I started the profile just so, like, for Google and everything, you can save your playlist and go back and watch stuff later. Because during that time, that was when I was getting ready to start right around there, maybe 6 months or a year before that, I'd really started a weight loss journey. Because people that don't know, about 2015, 2016, I was about 335, 340, and that was like a fluffy 335, 340. Not a dude that was lifting. I mean, I played sports growing up and did football and all that, but
what position did you play?
I was a right tackle and a defensive end, offensive line and defensive end.
Okay.
And then like a little bit younger, I played like some linebacker and stuff like that. But like I tell people when they're talking about shirt sizes, I order shirts like, oh man, I need a medium or something like that. And I'm like, man, I haven't worn medium since I was like 7 years old. So like, but if that's what you
were you the kid with the birth certificate?
But if that's what you wear, I'll order it. Yeah, like when we played football, you had to have the black line on your helmet. That means they couldn't hand you the ball or nothing because when you're 12 years old, 200 pounds, you're like Jerome Bettis out there.
Like, hey, I didn't see that kid's birth
right. So there was a lot of that when I was younger because I've been like 6'1" since I was like in middle school. So, but that was like playing sports. We lifted and did all that. So I had like a background in that. But then getting older, getting into sales, being on the road all the time, you eat a bunch of junk and stuff like that. So I had just each year gained like 10 pounds a year for like 10 years. And then that's where I was at. So that's when I really started the home gym. If you see my there might be some pictures and stuff on Instagram. Sometimes I share where I have just like a old bench in my garage or like one set of dumbbells or something like that. That's when I really started it as far as an adult home gym. I had a little makeshift squat rack, like a 2-post type of thing, and a bench and some like dumbbells and stuff. That was it, like just in the weight plates in one bar. So as you can see, that's changed a lot since then. But yeah, that's kind of how I started it, and that's how I started following people. I think back then Coop was making videos, but some of his videos were in his garage. Some of his videos were in commercial gyms. So people that hadn't been around a while don't realize that he didn't have a gigantic studio and all the stuff he has now. He used to do some of his reviews inside a commercial gym.
Well, he owns that gym, doesn't he? If it was the CrossFit box, he owns that.
No, I don't think it was a CrossFit. I mean, he could have been traveling or doing things like that. But I remember some of his early videos, like the SSB video and stuff like that. He was just in a commercial gym.
Okay. Yeah, I know he owns a CrossFit box because he started outfitting his CrossFit box with the stuff that he would review.
Yeah.
He put it in the CrossFit box. So I guess it's not really public and not public. You know what I mean? Semi-private thing. But so that's to Brandon was like that too. Like you see his early video, it's him in like just any content or whatever. Because he basically was workout videos. A lot of guys didn't really start Like Brandon didn't really start out doing reviews. He started out, and if he was doing reviews, it was like reviews of supplements. Because like the equipment review thing wasn't really a thing. I think like only John, his name, not Bergeron, the guy from GarageGyms.com. Um, he was like the only person doing reviews. When I already had my own gym, but when I would look for reviews on stuff, he would be like the only thing that would pop up if I was looking for like, oh, what is this? Or what's this kind of? I'm looking for specific things for the home gym, like especially when it was in the garage.
Yeah, you're starting to get a little muffled again. I can hear you, but it's getting muffled again.
All right, let's turn this up right here. So like John Bergeron was like
there
the only guy who was doing. He was at GarageGyms.com, and whenever I would look for stuff for my home gym, he'd be like the only website that will pop up. There wasn't really anybody on YouTube. So so I'm looking at these are your oldest videos that are public on YouTube.
Yeah, they're probably only 2 or 3 years old. I don't know if it goes back any further than that.
Yeah, you got like it looks like you got your fringe port pink bumpers, the pizza plates. Yeah, that's like 2 years ago. And then you got like a True Grit power bench review. Like the Rep Fitness FB 5000. That tells everybody how old that is. Everybody's like, so people from nowadays, they're like, the what? What's that? Like, they don't even know what that is.
The best flat bench ever made.
Look at that. So this video here, where you got like your gym tour is like the Kurt locker.
Oh, yeah.
The first time I ever saw Kurt.
Okay.
I was watching I just had your channel up, and it showed it's like the Kurt locker. I was like, the who? Who's that, right? And so you actually introduced me to Kurt.
Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, well, see, and that's the thing. I was like, oh, that's because in my head, I didn't know either one of you. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool that these two guys who are, both have home gym, because then I looked them up, right? I was like, oh, these two guys who both have home gym channels, they're kind of collabing and working out together. That's cool. Because, you didn't really see that unless it was the big channels, right? And, my way of thinking is I like it from the other side. I like to see what like normal, regular people do. So so literally you are the reason I knew about Kurt's channel.
What's funny about that is we put it on his channel, and then he sent me the video afterwards, and I was like, that's what we agreed to anyway. I was like, hey man, run it for a month or so, and then when you get it to me, I'll post it on my channel too. And then he's got on both of them. He's in the intro, so it's not like we took his video and reused it or anything. But he sent it to me, and the video that we posted on my channel has more views than his, and he had a bigger channel. So,
hey, it is what it is, man. I'm telling you, literally, I wouldn't know who Kurt was if not for the video being on your channel.
Right.
So I'm always like,
no, I really appreciate him doing that. I knew Kurt when you're talking about the older YouTube stuff. Like, I knew Kurt from. I don't know. We didn't really talk like we do now and stuff. Like now, I've got his phone number and stuff like that. If I need something, he's always like, "Hey, man, call me," because he's in social media and stuff. He's not on there a lot, but he's like, if it's something you need something, just call me or text me and I'll get back to you. But he was in town visiting family. He has family here in the Nashville area, so he was like, "Hey, I'll be through there." And I was like, "Hey, man, if you ever want to come work out," or I was like, "Hey, if you want to film a gym tour or something like that," he's like, "Yeah, I really like, because that gives me free content. We can work out or whatever." And he brought some of his strongman gear that I'd never seen before. So he brought like his circus dumbbell. Like if you go in that video, you'll see some of that stuff laying in the background. That's Kurt's equipment that he brought with him in this truck.
He travels with that stuff.
So
like the stuff he took to home gym con.
So I knew about him back then. If you go back to I want to say you're probably that 2017 you're talking about. A lot of the guys, that's when Rogue came out with their Monster Light and they had the colors. So he had a blue rack, Brandon had a blue rack. There was a couple other guys that were doing reviews and stuff that had those colored racks. So that's kind of a time stamp if you go back and see one of those Monster Light racks in blue or some of the other colors, because that was the first time they offered colors. Everything was always matte black before that. They have Matte Black Friday or whatever. That was and then later they came out with the Monster line, but those Monster Light racks were some of the first ones that really started the whole customize your gym to your theme and all that. So I've been following. I think I followed Kurt longer than I followed Garage Gym Reviews.
Yeah, well, I can definitely say that because I don't follow Garage Gym Reviews at all to this day. My brother, though, to your point, he had his gym outside, and he got a monster light. At first, he had a power rack that he just built. It was made out of so he works on power lines in Chattanooga, and so he had a bunch of cross arms. That you use a bunch of old cross arms. That so basically, all right. So anybody who's watching doesn't know what a cross arm is. So you have the pole, and then you have an arm that goes. You have a wooden, like it looks almost like a landscape timber. It goes across, and those are the wires going there. Two of the wires will go on that. So that's a cross arm. So anyway, he took some old ones, those, and built a power rack out of that. And that thing, I think he ended up giving it away because that thing was still going strong. He just wanted, something that looked better. And so he got a Rogue Monster light. And I remember that his thing is, he likes green. And so like the color schemes, all that kind of stuff was part of why he did it. So since you've been checking this stuff out, you already mentioned a couple of things, but how have you seen home gym content on YouTube change from 2017 to 2024? Like, not necessarily in terms of, well, actually, you can name like who the people are, because that's one thing too. You see people drop off. People who got on YouTube and then they kind of leave and they go to they'll start doing like Instagram stuff, and I did that too, because the basic thing is you want to go where people are actually going to listen to you. Like there's actually an audience, right? So talk about like some of the changes that you've seen specifically on YouTube in terms of home gym content, like the changes you've seen.
Well, I think a lot back then. A lot of stuff was like weight is weight. You hear that a lot. Get the cheapest thing you can get. Try to find used stuff, which I think is still a good advice. But the more you're in your home gym, you realize, hey, like I want something of better quality. If I'm going to use this all the time. So as there's been a progression of like nicer weight plates. Some guys have started out with just junk iron and progressed to getting like the competition plates and stuff like that. Like I'm not against competing. I'm going to try to compete some more, but I don't think I need competition plates. But I see why people like them. They like to practice while they play. You've seen kind of a progression over that. Even gyms like Brandon's gym, some of those other guys, Kurt and all that. As he got more and more into strongman, he started out powerlifting, and then got a log and circus dumbbells and yokes and all that kind of stuff. And when I first started back then, it was more like I was following guys like Paul Revelia, like if you know him, he's like a
oh yeah, I like him. I'm
competition.
actually using his walking weight loss thing. Yeah, I'm actually using like his walking weight loss tips.
Because when I was doing the weight loss stuff, like when I was really digging into that, he does contests, bodybuilders and physique competitors and female bikini and all that. But he's really dives into the macros, or if it fits your macros type of stuff. Yeah. So a lot of my content I was consuming was like around that. So that could have been my algorithm or whatever. But as I've got more and more into the home gym, it's progressed into guys like Brandon and Gluck and Joel, as many reviews as possible. He does a lot of CrossFit, so I never really was into CrossFit, but he had a lot of reviews on barbells and bumper plates and stuff like that. So
he reviews a lot of shoes now.
Yeah, he's into the shoes.
Like his shoe game.
If I want to look at some of the shoes, I'd check out My Fit Friend. He's got all the shoes. I think he's even starting his own online shoe store, or his own brick and mortar shoe store, where he actually tests all the shoes. So if there's like if you're into like barefoot shoes, or you're into any kind of training shoes, that's a guy to check out for sure. Yeah. He's done some videos with Brandon, I think, too. So
yeah. So we got some questions already. I said you're a popular dude. I want to make sure we get these before you got to get out of here. So first question is, Carp, are you signed? This is from Jerry. Carp, are you signed up for the 2025 Strongman Showdown?
I am not currently. No. I'm dealing with a shoulder issue right now. So really the only thing I can do without pain is like deadlifting. I'm able to do some like cable stuff, like tricep push downs and some curls. I can do curls, but I've been mainly doing them on the cable because I can do the tricep push downs and do I've got a little superset I do there. But primarily focus on deadlift right now because that helps for strongman. So I'm hoping if this, they say like a rotator cuff. I had a couple falls around the house, and I fell the same time on the same shoulder. So like I think it was starting to get better, and then I had fallen again. So it was just dumb luck. I fell over something the kids had laid out and tripped and fell right on my shoulder after I had fallen previously. So it was starting to get better. And then and they said there's really not anything you can do. I mean, they have surgery and stuff, but there's not really anything you can do for it. You kind of just have to rehab it. It's a time thing. Like 2 to 3 months. And then, so I'm trying to I'm doing band work and stuff on the side to try to make it feel better. But some days it feels like it's getting better, and other days it feels like 2 days before it didn't feel better. So I'm not signed up for it now, but I'm not opposed to doing it. The one thing that had me worried was that it has a Viking press in there, and I'm like, oh man, depending on what was in the competition, it might affect if I signed up or not. But
you were like, I just automatic zero that and
which I could do, and still compete, but you know, you don't have any chance of placing anything like that. And I don't know if I'm that strength level anyway. But the one I did last year was fun. I would love to do it again if I'm healthy.
All right, so you got an alternative opinion. Which the person is coming from, I'm not surprised at all. Matt says deadlifts are all that matters. It's okay to ignore the rest. I don't necessarily agree with that training philosophy approach. I don't know what else. I don't even know what else to call it. but it is a way to live. It is a way to live.
I will say it's going up right now. So I don't know if it's because I'm just only focusing on that, or the fatigue and everything from everything else is not hurting my deadlift, but it's actually on the rise, hopefully.
Well, there you go. So Ashley, the amazing, the legendary 332, she says, hey, good morning, Carp. Keith Honeycutt, the no wine seller, has arrived.
The dog
says, love the shirt, Carp. He said, you the man. Hey, look at that. I'm telling you, this is a special occasion because we normally can't get Keith up and checking out the show live. All right, so Carp brings out celebrities. You know what I mean?
Keith, the invoice is in the mail.
I'm telling you, man. And then Matt says, talking about equipment quality, he says, I ran for years on whatever I can get. He said, I've upgraded as well, but I'm at a point now where I need to upgrade again, and the next upgrade will be for competition quality gear. I'm actually very interested in what they have in the UK because, you know, the brands are slightly different. Like, I know about Mirror Fit, but I'm looking at and of course, Lyco is like the very top of the line. But I'm curious to I've been wanting to kind of expand out to see what's available in the UK because people forget, man. It's like you got a YouTube channel, you know, people in other countries can watch it too. So if you're truly making stuff for the home gym community, why not make stuff for people in New Zealand, Indonesia, whatever? Because again, they've got equipment needs as well. Whereas we tend to just make stuff in North America. And some of that is based upon, you know, who will send you stuff. But I feel like there's got to be, there are some workarounds. I just want to start focusing on stuff that's in other countries as well. Anyway.
Yeah, that's one thing with strongman gear. It's it's kind of hard to find. Every once in a while you find something on Marketplace, but there's big companies that make stuff like Rogue and Mike Bartos and stuff like that. But those are, top tier. So if you've never done a circus dumbbell or something, you don't want to spend $500 or $600 on a circus dumbbell. You're like, can I find one for $100 or something that can try it out? Or there's strongman gyms stuff out there you can go to, but if you want to have that stuff at home, there's not really a bunch of great options.
Well, I'm curious about, and actually Matt could probably answer this, but so here in the States, especially if you're somewhere we were talking about in the beginning of the show, talking about how I was in Arkansas, out there they have small manufacturers, kind of maybe a couple steps down from what Dean at Black Widow is, and they make small custom stuff, right? And so they'll usually go to some, hey, I know this guy over here and he makes stuff, right? And so I think there's a lot of that. And so that's what I mean. It's I'm curious if they have it like that in the UK, for example. Is that what they do in terms if they're going for specifically strongman stuff? I think powerlifting stuff is easier to get because the IPF is fairly big. But I am curious, and that's on my list of things to dive into. All right. Let's see. Okay. Now, let's talk about the last three things you reviewed.
Sure.
So you reviewed the Synergy Custom Delta Dumbbell Rack, which violates my rule for how long a name of a product can be. Literally. So
I got tongue-tied on that one.
There was a power rack I reviewed earlier this year, and I just gave it a nickname. Like I said the name like twice, and I said, okay, from here on out in the video, I'm just calling it by this nickname. It still was on brand, but I'm not saying all that again.
Right.
Right? And I told the brand too. I was like, hey, look, because they sent me the rack and like, hey, we're gonna pay you for your time to do a review over it. I said, okay, I'm just gonna tell you right now. I'll say your product name twice. That's all you get. I am not saying it more than twice. It's gonna be a nickname. I just can't do it because I'm afraid. Well, I don't know if afraid is the right word, but I don't want to mess it up. So like you say, like this Synergy Custom Delta Dumbbell Rack. How easy would that be to just forget something, call it the wrong thing? Like that's a lot of work.
Yeah, I said it in the beginning, and then I just started saying the Synergy rack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm like,
The tower rack.
I ain't going through all that, man.
That describes it.
So you reviewed that, the Living.Fit Adjustable Bench 3.0. That's kind of on the edge too. A lot of names there. And then the Rep Fitness Rubber Coated Dumbbells. So first of all, how do you decide what to review? Is it like so my approach is it's a combination of what people send me and stuff that I just find interesting. Like if I let's say I don't have anything I'm obligated to review, right? And I say, all right, but I got to put something out. A lot of times I'll just go downstairs and see what I already have and what I've had for a while or what I've bought recently and I haven't talked about yet. So do you go that way or do you have some other way that you pick out what you want to review?
Well, if I have somebody that wants to send me something, that kind of gets to the top of the list. That doesn't mean I'm just going to unbox it, tell you it's awesome, and then go. I do have a testing process I like to do. So on the living fit bench, that's what I would call an unboxing and overview. That's not going to be my final review on it because I wanted to get a lot of work on it. I want to do different things, try it in different ways. How does it store? How hard is it to move around the gym and that kind of stuff? Get some other guys to train on it that are even stronger than me and see how that goes. Because I was pretty excited about that one because
they end up getting Rory Ellis cameos in your
yeah.
Rory, come on over here.
I've got plenty of Rory B-roll if anybody wants to see a buff man in flip flops.
Wow. Okay.
We were just talking the other day about I posted one of those videos and they said, man, it's incredible what that guy can do in flip flops. And I said, yeah, you haven't seen him in sneakers. It's like Clark Kent when he takes off the glasses, man. Like he turns into Superman when he has tennis shoes on.
That's healthy, man. That's a strong dude. You just hey, don't underestimate this guy. But anyway, I stylized. Go ahead, keep.
Yeah. Sorry, that was sidebar there.
That's why we're here.
But yeah, like that living fit bench, it has a really high weight capacity. When I see that, I'm like, okay, the first thing I'm thinking, we're going to test that. So that's part of the process. And then, so like if they send me something, it gets put towards the front, not necessarily the front, but towards the front. So that's something that I'm working on. Like when Living Fit sent me the bars last year or earlier this year, beginning of the year, I told them, I said, hey man, I appreciate you sending the bars, but I'm in a strongman prep right now. So like they're on my mind, but it's not going to be until after this strongman thing is over. Unless I can just work it in on a deadlift day or something like that. I'm not going out of my way to like spend 4 weeks on this bar. So that one took me a little while longer, but I had told them that, hey, that's what I'm looking at doing at the beginning. So, I kind of like to do what I want. Like if it's something that's popular, like right now the dumbbells are big. People are like, should you get regular or adjustable? The Pepins are coming out, so I was like, hey, this is going to be a nice topic video because my plan was that rack that I reviewed. I was going to move that and switch it to a different rack. So I was like, so when I do that, I might as well just film it while I'm out here moving all this stuff around.
Hey guys,
and
welcome back to
yeah, that's it right there. So those racks are rep racks, which I've had for, 3 years. They've been great, but I wanted to upgrade up to a bigger rack, something maybe with the storage solutions or something like that. So I'm like, when I move this, I might as well just film it and talk about the dumbbells. I've had them for 3.5 years. I've got a good, understanding of how they are or any issues or anything. Really haven't had any issues with them, except when I got that Synergy Delta dumbbell rack. So
that's what I was going to ask you. Like, do they even fit? Like, you know what I mean? Because the handle, we were talking. Was it last week? We were talking about how the handle lengths are different. and so certain things
Yes.
don't fit. Yeah, I think it was last week we were talking about that.
Well,
So do those fit on
like
the?
that was a giveaway that Ashley did on her channel. Ashley's
Okay.
amazing. Shout out to later on today. And I talked to the owner. He's like, "Hey man, like we know that you make videos and stuff, but we didn't just send that to you because you make videos." He's like, "You were pulled out of the hat, and so we're doing it as fair as possible." And I was like, "Okay, you know." He thought enough to reach out to me and tell me that.
Cool.
But I did a video. I had no agreement with them. I wasn't planning on making a video for them, or they didn't. It wasn't a exchange or anything.
Yeah, I got you.
I just wanted. I was like, hey, this will make good content, and I don't think anybody's seen it. I mean, I saw them at Home Gym Con, but nobody else has seen them, and I get questions about them all the time. Have you seen this rack, or have you tried it? And so I was like, I'm gonna make a video, just talking about how it is and with the quality and all that. Because before, if you got in like that Kurt Locker video, I had one of the A-frame dumbbell racks that my wife and kids use. And it's a cheapo Amazon rack. I think they're like $50 or something. So I was like, these are not anywhere close. So if you see that online and you see that Synergy rack and you see something like that on Amazon or whatever, like the quality is different, the steel thickness, all that. It's like, so when you see a higher price tag, it's not the same thing. So I want people to know that too. But I built it, set it up, and then I just posted the video with not even thinking anything about it, not expecting anything. And then they reached out to me online and said, hey, we saw this video. We sent it to our owner or CEO or COO or CEO. One of it might have been both of them. Yeah. And they want to talk to you. It's like, can we set up a call or a time that he can call you? And I said, yeah, sure. You know, anytime, you know, in the afternoon or whatever, I'm available. And so they said, oh, we have your information from the giveaway. He'll call you, you know, sometime this week in midday, mid-afternoon. And I said, that's fine. So he called me and he said, hey, man, I saw that video and we realized that those dumbbells don't fit on there. We knew about those, and the Vulcan are two of the ones that are kind of that don't fit on the side vertical post. And he said, well, what we'll do, we're made in the USA, which I didn't know that at the time. He said, we're made in the USA. We're in-house. So maybe I can get my fabricator to make you one that's a little bit shorter so your dumbbells will fit on it. And I said, dude, that sounds awesome. That's some of the best customer service I've ever heard of or seen. But the problem is I don't have the rack anymore because I've already given it away. So, and he's like, oh, really? I was like, yeah. And I don't think, even if it did fit, I don't think it was going to work in my space because I want to do the horizontal type thing or whatever, and but do more attachments and stuff. Because that one will still take attachments and landmines and barbell holders and all that too, because it's 3x3 in the middle. Yeah. And he said, well, how about if I send you a vertical one then? He's like, I appreciate you telling me that you don't have it or whatever. I said, man, if that's what you want to do, that I will make a video for. We'll talk about it now. I'll make a video. And so I agreed to make a video for that one. So I've got a video coming out on the horizontal rack that they have.
Oh, nice. Okay.
This is kind of inside baseball. You'll see it later. This is for the guys that are here today. On the one he sent me, it does have storage that'll go on the side as well as the horizontal storage. Right. But he fabricated or made a different version that fit my dumbbells. So the side panels will fit the rep ones. So if you have those or you're worried about getting that rack, I think they can make it because they're in-house. So they have their own facility. They have laser cutters and all that. So he made me one that's about a half inch shorter. It looks the same type of footprint. And I've already tried it. All the sizes fit on. The small ones and the big ones fit on there. So I was like, oh, this guy, that's awesome, man.
Where in the U.S. do they make that stuff?
I can't remember where he said. I think Jake's interviewing him on his podcast, so maybe that'll be in there. I don't remember the location though, but I bet it's on whenever Jake reviews. I don't think Jake has a review coming out on that, or not a review, but a interview with those guys.
All right, so let's run through this because I know you got to get out of here. You got to head off to work and be a grown up. Ashley said, "I love my Delta rack." So shout out to you again, Ash.
Just one thing on that. I want to tell people, I told the owner, I said, man, this powder coat is better than Rogues or any other powder coat I have. He said because on the inside, they spray the inside too. So on my Rogue rack, there's no powder, there's very little powder coat on the inside. He said, yeah, we take something in there and spray it inside each hole. So we know it should be the same. So you don't have to worry about corrosion. I guess that's having your own facility. You can do that kind of stuff. But
I like those nice little touches. I mean,
I was like, it might have a high price tag, but when you see it, you'll know okay, this is quality.
I think people get like the stuff that you were talking about, like on Amazon, because they're like, oh, well, this is good enough.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I think it's like they don't look at it like, and I kind of get it too. It's like, okay, well, why do I need to buy a BMW just to get to work? You know, I can buy a Hyundai. It'll get me there. You know what I mean? It's good enough. I buy a real nice Nissan. I don't need a Mercedes. You know what I mean? But I think that in some cases, it's not like that. It's, you know, I'm paying a little bit more money because this thing's going to last longer, or it's going to do more things for me and make my life easier. It's like I can buy this one thing instead of buying 3 El Cheapos or whatever.
Right. Yeah, cloth seats versus leather seats. You know, I don't have to have leather seats, but they're nice to have.
Hey, I do. This is something I do want to know because I saw you dropping the dumbbell, and I thought about it. And then I watched your video. See, I actually watched the videos. All right, I don't just.
Yeah, I can tell from your questions. I was like, hey, this guy did his research.
Hey, I'm telling you. Plus, you know, I gotta like, you guys. Well, so you were saying Inside Baseball. So one of the things I do, if it's a channel, I'm trying to, you know, I'm like, hey, this is like somebody's channel. I think a lot of it or whatever, and I want to support you guys. I do it with you. I do it with Jonathan. So I'll like find reasons to put your stuff on, right? So like you guys may have seen, like I was benching and I think I was benching. I had your video on, or squatting or something like that, and I just throw it on, right? Number one, it gives me something to listen to that's not going to be out of pocket if my daughter comes in, you know, comes in the gym, and then number two. I also this shout out to Kim from Barbell Rescue. I gotta get him back on here. But then I also will do I'll just randomly just turn it on. Let's say I'm about to take a nap. I'll just randomly turn it on, and so I get soothed to sleep with the sultry sounds of Carp talking. Right. So and then of course if I'm bringing you on, I do watch your stuff. But so specific to this dumbbell video, I wanted to know. In terms of similarity to the silverback dumbbells from Fringe, because I know you like Fringe Sport as well. Because you were talking about how the rep dumbbells don't get hot if you leave them in the sun. So talk about that a little bit in terms of how similar they are, and then we've got some questions from the chat that we'll finish up with those.
Yeah, they're very similar. The one about the Fringe is they have their gorilla logo on the end, the green logo. But as far as the heads, they're very similar. I think their handle is fully knurled all the way across. It's that rubber knurling where
the Fringe dumbbell is a complete rubber. It's like not metal covered with rubber.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But it's like it has the knurling or the speckled down through there, where the rep one has some lines in it. So it's a little bit fatter. It's not an ergo grip. The rep ones are not an ergo grip. But it is a little like thicker in the middle. It's not like the full like you see on the cheapo Walmart dumbbells and Amazon dumbbells. It's not that type of ergo grip, but it has a little bit of thickness to it. Especially once you get over the 25s. The 5 through 20s are a slimmer diameter, and then the above 25 is a little bit thicker. But the Fringe ones are knurled all, and I think they're a little bit slimmer. So they're very similar dumbbells. That's why I told Peter. I said I'd love to have these, but they stop at 50. So
I mentioned that, but see, remember when he was on the show when Peter came on here last month? He said that they're going to be bringing them up to 100 pounds.
Yeah, he did say he's working on it.
Yeah, so
and I think they're sold out right now, so I don't even think you can get them. I think maybe they're pre-order, but you can't get them right now.
As long as they are at my home gym con of 2025, I'm good to go. Because then I'm gonna upgrade to. That's probably when I'll be ready to upgrade my dumbbell rack at that time. Right now, I'm still with my a combination of Craigslist and marketplace purchases for dumbbells and some Plating and Sports in there.
Right.
It's like a hodgepodge or whatever. All right, let's jump into these questions from the chat.
Okay, go ahead.
So first one is we're talking about how to get strongman equipment in the UK. So Matt says he said we're lucky with MirrorFit in the UK. They supply Giants Live. I did not know that.
Oh.
I didn't know MirrorFit supplied Giants Live for strongman equipment, so it's accessible. And they also have, I forgot about Strength Shop. So you have Strength Shop that does a lot of strongman equipment, and then they also have access to obviously Rogue Europe. But he said that there are some small companies or steel fabricators that will custom make if you know the right person. But that's the thing, because I've got a custom fabricator that's like 30 minutes from me. I would not ask them to make equipment because it would end up costing so much because that's not something they do. Like they fabricate stuff for like construction companies, like, you know, bulldozers and backhoes, right?
Yeah, like
so
when I was, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. So if I went to them, I'd have to give them the specs, make sure the specs are completely right, and then there'd be a little bit of trial and error. And because they'd have to retool their equipment and get everything set up, it's going to cost me more just in terms of labor and setup costs. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I'm
like
losing that.
I reached out to Dean when I was first getting into the strongman, like about getting a log, and I know he's made them before, and I think the prices have went up quite a bit on the steel and stuff like that because he was telling me he's like, hey man, just get a Titan one or something because
Yeah,
what I'm having to pay for the bare steel tubes is more than what Titan is selling their one ship to your house for.
yeah,
So like I know some people don't like that one because it's rackable and it's kind of they made it shorter where it used to be a full
yeah,
size log.
yeah,
It's lighter though, so if you're beginning, it's a good starter weight. But he's like, yeah, man, it'd be over 1,000 for me to make you one because
yeah,
I'm paying $500 or something for the tubes, and then I got to fabricate it, weld it, and all that. So
yeah.
I know it would be quality though. That's the thing. But you know, it's like, is that in your budget?
And it's like, I mean, like I compare that to maybe getting a wood log. I mean, maybe not Slater, but still getting a wood log, right? But then the thing about a metal log is usually the log itself is a little bit lighter, so it's easier if you've got like your wife and kids want to like play around with it too and stuff like that. Um, Keith said that building a strongman gym is a much more difficult than powerlifting as far as finding great deals on marketplace. He said his only luck has been buying from strongman friends.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like because you have somebody who's upgrading. They're like, okay, I'm getting rid of this one because I'm buying this other one. Um, I can see that. One other thing about logs too, man, is like different logs are different in terms of how they make you cock your wrist, the angle of your wrists. So you could buy one. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to get in this strongman competition. Then you go to the competition. They're using a different brand of log, and the angle is still different. So you're still kind of like having to get used to that one. So I think you almost have to go like with the old school strongman approach, where they're like, okay, just be strong enough to handle whatever they
right,
give you.
right.
That way, it may be like a 20-pound decrease or something, but you still can kind of handle it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Uh,
Keith's a real good example of making friends in the community. So, like I
yeah,
said, whenever Kurt came over here, he brought some of his equipment, and me and Rory have shared equipment before. He's let me borrow his log and stuff when I was training. So, like Keith has a network of friends. Like he's getting newer into strongman, but some of those guys go to the same gyms, and they'll come over to his house and train, so they can bring their thing with them if he doesn't have it and stuff like that. So, don't be scared to make friends in the community. Even if you're a home gymmer, you can still have some buddies that you share equipment with or pool your resources. That's a good idea.
Um, so Matt says a couple small companies in the UK that do custom stuff are B2B sleeves. They made his Atlas stone frame and farmers some sacks and stuff. And this is interesting to me. He said he had a tanker company make him his first strongman log. It was 40 kilograms empty, and it cost him no money because he just happened to know the people at that company. So that's pretty cool. Jared has a question about testing a bench's weight capacity. He said, I think loading it up on the lowest incline setting where it's the weakest is the best angle to stress test it. Do you agree? Because he said in flat, it can probably all hold tons. And I guess that refers to the living fit bench. So what are your thoughts on like where the best way is to test the weight capacity of a bench?
Yeah, I think what would be in like normal use. So like I've seen some guys put a forklift on the very tip of a bench, and I'm like, that's who's ever gonna drop 1,500 pounds on the back two
Yeah,
inches of a bench and snap the wood. But what I will say is the cool thing about this living.fit bench is I've shared some pictures with some of the guys online too. Is it has a steel frame and underneath the pad, it has another 1/4 inch steel all the way underneath the wood frame. So I think this thing could probably hold 2,000 pounds because I think it's a 1,100 pound weight capacity, but it has the metal frame in the center, which everybody has, like the Rep and all the different companies with the cutouts. But then underneath the wood, there's another 1/4 inch all the way around the perimeter. So you have pad, wood, and then a 1/4 inch steel, and
right.
then the frame. So I don't I mean I'll tell you right now, I put 1,500 pounds on it, and it
Yeah.
didn't do anything. It's
And I
fine.
mean, if you got the stuff, depends on like the environment you're going to keep it in too. Because if your gym isn't outdoors, then the biggest thing I've seen is with a bench is the wood starting to kind of rot if you have it outside. But if it's in your garage, it's not gonna, it's not like you're pouring water on it. it should last you a very long time. You just periodically tighten the bolts and things like that. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think. Oh, and then the other thing is like the grip surface. That's the other thing I look for. It's like, what's the grip surface like? As long as it's a well-made bench, then for me the difference between this bench and that bench comes down to, how awkward is it for my wife to move it around if she needs to do something in the gym, and do I like actually using it? Is it comfortable for me to use? That's my big thing. I don't really get into. I know some people get like all wrapped up with like how popular the company is, but I literally, that's why I like actually Home Gym Con, because I literally went around in Home Gym Con the first year. I went around and I tried everybody's adjustable bench. I just went
Right.
down
Yeah.
on all of them. I think I did. It was like, so it was 3 days that year, and in the first day I had a like bench press, right? So I just went around and I did like my first set, my first exercise. I did flat bench with the bar at the Bells of Steel booth. Then I did incline work over at Rep. Then I forget where I went next, but I basically just tried everybody's bench, going from booth to booth. And that's kind of what I like it. Like, you can pick out the stuff that you actually like and enjoy. Um, so I know you got to get out of here, man. I promised I would get you out of here at 6:45. We're about 15 minutes past that now. So let's just close up with what's coming up on your channel and what is your goal for the channel before the end of 2024. So tell everybody where they can
Okay.
find your channel, what's coming up, and and then just for my personal curiosity, what's your goal for the channel for 2024?
Okay, well, guys, if you didn't know already, we said it multiple times. I'm Eric, Coach Carp with Carps Gym. I'm on Instagram at Coach Carp76 and on YouTube at Coach or Carps Gym on YouTube. But coming up on the channel, I'm going to have that Synergy dumbbell rack, the horizontal version. That's coming up pretty soon. And then for 2024, the rest of it, I want to do at least one giveaway, maybe more if we can work it out with some companies want to team up or something like that. But I know I'm going to at least do one giveaway. And then my goal for this year was really just to get over 1,000 subs, which we did. We did that earlier in the year, which kind of surprised me. And it's steadily growing. Like that dumbbell video I just posted, I mean, we've got almost 1,500 views in the first 2 days, which I wasn't expecting. So it just goes to show you what people are looking for. Like I try to put things out that people ask me questions about most of the time. So I'm going to try to get some more videos out on questions I've actually received, like this Living Fit bench we just got. A lot of you guys, I posted things on my YouTube or Instagram, like send me your questions and I'll try to test it or do what I can to get those questions answered. I like to incorporate the community in my reviews.
Yep.
Like I said, I'm not just unboxing, rolling it out there and tell you it's the best thing ever, buy it. I don't have an affiliation with Living Fit. They did send me the bench, but I don't have links or any kind of thing with them. So I'm going to give you my honest review, and that's what I want to continue to do. If there's ever anything you guys have questions about, feel free to get down in the comments or ask questions. And just support the guys like John that are making good content. Like he does live streams and stuff like that. So I think you guys should check out his content, and hopefully you guys will see me soon.
Awesome, my man. Well, dude, I appreciate you being here, giving me some time before work. I know you got to get on the road, get out there, sell all the things, and
Make sure you buy your tickets to Home Gym Con 2025.
oh heck yeah, hey, Carp will be there, shaking hands, kissing babies. We might even be able to talk him into bringing some stickers for you guys, and maybe you can get some Carp's Gym T-shirts so you can join the cool kids like me.
I will definitely have stickers for sure.
There you go. All right, man. Well, man, thanks for being here, dude. And I'll let you get out of here. If you can jump in the comment section, I'm sure people have other questions for you. So
Sure, yeah, hit me up. I'll try to get them throughout the day.
all right, man.
Thanks, you guys. Always a pleasure.
Oh, that's the president of the replay gang. I forgot to mention that. Every time you see me say replay gang in the house, it's because Carp is leading the charge, and he's the chief executive officer of the replay gang. All right, I appreciate you too, man.
Yeah. I feel like if people are going to comment and share my videos, then I got to do the same thing, So I practice what I preach. So you guys do the same.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Peace out.
Have a good one.
All right, man. All right, so that was my guy, Coach Carp, your dude in mine. I'm a fan. You need to be a fan. I'm gonna throw this up here one more time. Go ahead, go to YouTube and subscribe to Carp's Gym on YouTube. I've got the link for his channel in the description for this video on Facebook and here on YouTube and on YouTube. So you guys please go there, subscribe to Carp because he's a good dude, and I appreciate him and all of his support. I mean, and here's the thing, man. Carp will. I'm gonna go ahead and keep shouting him out because I've actually like been watching stuff and it'll just pop up on my feed, and I didn't even know Carp was in it, and he'll be on there, and I've seen him like tell people, "Hey, you guys need to go check out John's channel," not knowing that I was gonna end up watching it, So to me, that's the definition of a good dude, and I do everything. I'm gonna do everything I can to support him and all of you other guys who support me in return. Let's clean up some of the comments, and then we're gonna move into our next segment. So, Matt said, well, let's start here. So Jake said that those are great people at Synergy Custom Fitness. Can you confirm that you're about to interview the people from Synergy Custom Fitness? Because I would like to learn more about the company, especially since I want to know where in the U.S. I don't necessarily need to visit their facility, but I'm just curious, like where they actually make their stuff. Just again, it's just out of curiosity. Matt says, in terms of mentioning wood logs, he said we have Celtic Strength as well for wood equipment like Super Yoke, Log, and Farmers. So like over here in the States, Slater's is the big one. But yeah, they do Atlas stones, and then they do the logs. I'm not sure if they did started out with logs, but yeah, Slater's is the big one. So I'm glad you guys have Celtic Strength over there. I had seriously forgotten all about Strength Shop. Even though, and that's crazy because when I was back in like 2015, 2014, Strength Shop was one of my go-to places to buy equipment for the home gym. So it's crazy how things change. Like I haven't looked on their website in a long time. They had I remember Callie Beck. He used to own. I don't know if he still owns it, but Strength Shop. And it was like he had like the big thing, let Callie lift, because he was competing in strongman as well. Keith said, I don't love the Titan rackable log, but $100 used versus $1,000 for the Mike Bartels Power Center or Rogue. Yeah, I get it, man. But I mean, to me, it goes back to once again, you get what you pay for. It's like, what do you want this thing to do for you? Not necessarily durability, but like right off out of the box functionality. And I'm not a fan of Titan, so I don't even really. This is probably the most I've talked about them. Keith says, I've borrowed sandbag and Husafeld in the garage currently. Yeah, man. And he says, I've enjoyed the live, gentlemen. Hey, man, I appreciate you being here. I know you got to get your day started as well. So if you come back for the replay gang, shout out to you. Shout out to everybody who's watching right now in the replay gang. I just had to put that little comment in there for the future. Let's put a pin in it before we get to your next comment, Jared. And let's give a shout out to the Central Time Zone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. Appreciate you guys taking the time out to hang out with me. If you've not already done so, please hit that like and subscribe button. Reach my goal of 50,000 subscribers. And also, if you have not done it and you would like to become a channel member, get early access to all my videos, you can click that join button. It's going to be right there. If you are on an iPhone, it'll be right there where the subscribe button was. And if you have a Droid, then you have to go on a desktop and you'll see the membership button right. You'll just have to slide to the side. You'll see a community button and then this membership, and you can click join. And it's 99 cents a month. All that money goes back into the channel so that we can improve our audio, and also it helps cover some of the expenses we have. In some cases, it's buying equipment to review. In some cases, it's getting out to cover live streams. Just all the stuff all like the day-to-day stuff that the channel needs. So anyway, there's that. Now let's go back to the comments. So Jared has a question. I like this question, Jared. He says, when did the grippy and firm bench pads become a thing? I recall most of all the benches and machines had smooth, somewhat soft padding. That isn't the case these days. So I do remember that. And in fact, I remember my first adjustable bench was a Donna body bench. I got that in 2008. And it had that smooth surface. And what we would end up doing is there were a couple of tricks. You even had videos where people would show it, where you'd have to take a wide resistance band and put it the length of your bench, so it would stop you from sliding if you were setting up for the bench for powerlifting. And I did that for several years before I got my rep AB 5200 1.0. And I don't know. I think what happened is people just started complaining because I would say Rogue probably was the first one to have like a powerlifting style bench. But you got to think about it like Bells of Steel. I think it was strong arm sport at the time. They had a combo bench. And so they started putting out like these benches that were for people who intend to compete in powerlifting. And so at that time, raw powerlifting was becoming more popular. So you had a lot more people competing in powerlifting, and a lot of those people trained at home. And so I think that was a big reason for it. That nobody, once the option for a grippier bench became available, nobody wanted the slick benches anymore. And the marketplace kind of speaks and dictates that. And I don't really see any reason at all to use one of those slick benches at all if you don't have to. And in fact, I remember we would usually at the time if we got a smooth bench, I was up in the air before I bought the AB 5200. I was like, well, I could just keep my current bench and recover it, because we would go to like an upholstery shop, like I was telling you about with that idea for the thing a couple episodes ago. I thought about just going to a shop that does reupholstery and getting it's the same kind of bench cover you would use on the boat seat on the seat of a boat, and it's kind of grippy, but and so yeah, there you go. And so now Keith says, I find grippy pads extremely overrated. So the thing is that it depends on what your leg drive looks like, and it also depends on what your setup looks like. And which he said, I have several friends that just have a different type of bench setup and they slip and slide on my bench pad, even though I stay locked in. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like I don't like it because there's another thing too. If you compete in powerlifting, you're going to have a grippy bench surface. So if you're accustomed to a bench that's slicker, then it's going to kind of throw you off a little bit when you get on it in terms of setting up, when you go to a powerlifting meet and you have a grippy bench that you're on. So you want to make things for powerlifting specifically, you want to make it as close to competition conditions as possible. And that's another reason why I changed benches, because the bench I had was taller. And so whenever I would go to a powerlifting meet, the angle of my legs was different, and it was messing up my ability to generate leg drive. So I just went ahead and I got the rep bench because it was the same height as a competition bench. So there we go. So around 5:30 a.m., Jake said he posted that video of the interview with Synergy Fitness, and they're in Miami. Okay, so I assume their manufacturing is in Miami as well. Okay, nice. And yeah, Keith said that pod is live now, John. That exactly what I was thinking. Like, Miami can't be a cheap place to manufacture. Now, I would think that labor would be a little bit cheaper because you've got a lot of people, you got a huge immigrant population. And they tend to not demand as much money. They just don't. You got a lot of like Cubans and whatnot, Dominicans and things like that. And they've got a high level of skill in terms of like manufacturing stuff. But then you also have like to deal with salt water, like the salt in the air rather. So that's interesting to me. Okay. Plus cost of living in Miami is not cheap. So you do have to kind of reflect that, but maybe they make it somewhere else and just ship it, and they're just headquartered in Miami. I don't know, but that's interesting. That's good to know. All right, so we got a special announcement. I want to go ahead and do this, and then we're gonna move into news and other things. All right. So we went a little bit long with the Carps segment. So we're about 15 minutes behind where I plan to be. So we're gonna go ahead and catch up. All right. So special announcement is shout out to Bells of Steel. You can now use promo code Best Gym in Town at checkout when you go to bellsofsteel.us, or I guess if you go to bellsofsteel.com, which is the Canadian site, and you use promo code Best Gym in Town, you'll save 10% at checkout, and you will be supporting the channel. So I want to give you guys some background because this is going to change things. I've got a few affiliate deals here and there, but none of them at the time were going to affect how I created content for the channel, right? But this one, in my opinion, will. So I want to be completely transparent with you guys. So I'm telling you right now up front, here's the deal. If this ends up being really long, sorry. But I like to be transparent. So I've been a fan of Bells of Steel, you guys know. For years, I purchased several Bells of Steel products in the past in my home from my home gym, but I've also done brand collabs with them. So this is just formalizing, like actually creating a partnership. So timeline is they first reached out to me. I didn't have any Bells of Steel stuff at first, right? I knew about them because I knew about them from the strong arm sport competition bench thing, the combo bench. I'm sorry, the competition combo rack. Yeah. But I hadn't really got anything from them. So what happened is they reached out to me to review their open trap bar. I think that was in 2022. And so then I reviewed that. They gave me some options of what to review, and I said trap, and I needed a trap bar at the time. So I said, well, I'll review the open trap bar. So they sent me the trap bar. I'm sorry, I needed a trap bar that was easier to load because the one I had was the old style. It was just a pain to try to load weight on it. And so they had an open trap bar that was easier to load. It had like the built-in deadlift jack. So I said, yeah, I'll review that. So they sent it out to me. And then one of the recurring questions on that video was what happened to the industrial trap bar, right? And I wanted to know too, because I was like, the sleeves on this thing are kind of short. I'm kind of curious. So I went to Home Gym Con, the first Home Gym Con, and there I met Andrew and Kat, who you guys may know from Bells of Steel. They're in a few of the videos, or you may have met them at Home Gym Con. So I get there and I met them literally at Home Gym Con for the first time. And, I was just going around shooting content. And one of the videos, the reason I met Andrew and Kat was because I went to them and I said, hey, I got a question and I want to know if you'd be willing to answer this on camera. And they're like, sure. And I said, people want to know, I did this video and they want to know what happened to your industrial trap bar, right? So I shot that video at Home Gym Con. So the open trap bar video, all these videos are on my channel still. I've got links in the description for this video so you guys can go watch them. But anyway, and so I was like, hey, well, why'd you discontinue the industrial trap bar? So Andrew explained why, like, with the thought process behind them discontinuing it. And even though it is, in my opinion, a more popular trap bar than the current open trap bar, justifiably, right? And then I started to become a fan because we, like, offline, we were talking and they said, yeah, thanks a lot, Jared. I know you got an industrial trap bar. Every time it comes up, I'm like, I see it. And I'm mad because I wanted the industrial trap bar. But that's okay. I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you got it. I live vicariously through your industrial trap bar workouts. So then I started to become a fan of the company because they agreed on the spot. They did a giveaway for my channel members. I had just opened up the channel membership thing on my channel. And I was like, I want to do a giveaway to, tell my channel members thank you. And they're like, well, how about we give them a bar? And I'm like, oh, really? Like, yeah. So we did a giveaway at Home Gym Con, and it was for people who are members of the Garage Gym Live channel. And, one of the members won it. So then after the video was over, Andrew was like, do you want one? And I had just used it as I was telling Carp. I actually was testing out the different benches by basically doing my chest workout that day by going from booth to booth, right? So I had just used the Barenaked powerlifting bar, and I was like, I told my wife, I was like, Naomi, I like this bar. And so then Andrew was like, do you want a bar? And I say, yeah, if you give me one, I'll take that Barenaked powerlifting bar. So he gave me that. So that's 2 bars, like literally the dude had just met me, right? I don't think he had even ever looked at my YouTube channel, but he was just, that's just how they are, right? So I'm like, all right. So I got the Barenaked powerlifting bar in exchange for a review. That review I put in the video description, and I still use that bar to this day for my squats, my bench, and my overhead press. It's actually my favorite bar in the gym. Before that, I had the original Rogue Power Bar, and I gave that away when I got the Barenaked powerlifting bar because I'm like, I'm only going to use this one, so ain't no point in having. For me, there's no point in having multiple bars I'm not ever going to use. So I just got rid of it. I don't even remember who I gave it to, but I know I gave it to somebody. I think I gave it to somebody who's setting up their home gym for the first time. All right. So anyway, then I started the current version of the show. Kayvon agreed to come on, and during that interview, unsolicited, he offered to sponsor my trip to Home Gym Con. So I'm not saying this to flex. I'm telling you that this is how they kind of like demonstrated that they were like supporters of the home gym community. And even though we didn't have a formal relationship, this stuff is why I was always recommending them to people, right? And I would always say, hey, I'm not getting paid any money for sending you to their website, but I just recognize the kind of people they are. So Bells is still sponsored they cover like my travel expenses to get to Home Gym Con 2024. I've logged the trip. And then they gave me the seal roll pad, the 1 inch, the one for 1 inch holes to do. And I did a review of that, right? But again, this is all like there was no affiliate link or anything like that up to this point. And when Kayvon came back on a couple weeks ago, we still didn't have any kind of affiliate agreement. But again, I was consistently, like you guys who I've talked to about Bells of Steel, you can attest to the fact that I was consistently behind the scenes recommending them to people. Every time you saw me defending them about stuff on Reddit or whatever, it's because I just like how they are as a company. Most of all, I like how they treat people when they make a mistake. I like that. And it's not, their behavior is not something that I can say about every company, right? So anyway, part of my hesitation and why we didn't have an affiliate thing was because I didn't want them to make me, like, I didn't want them to say, hey, if you have an affiliate deal with us, you can't review stuff from other companies. And I also, because that's happened with affiliate deals that people have offered me in the past. They're like, okay, you're going to sign this. And then you look you read the fine print and it says there's a non-compete. You cannot work with any other brand for, one of them was like 3 years. So imagine if I signed something that says I can only promote Bells of Steel, let's say Rep Fitness stuff. I'm not saying Rep Fitness does this. I'm just using it as an example. For 3 years, even after I stopped, and it's 3 years from when I stopped working with them, right? So let's say something goes wrong. I say, okay, I'm not working with you guys anymore. Now I got to wait 3 years before I can do another affiliate deal or before I can work with anybody else. That just wouldn't work because even on the live streams we do for competitions, there are other equipment brands that support the competition and I have to give them ad space, right? That's part of the deal I make with the whoever's hiring me to come out and live stream their event. So that just be a non-starter if I agree to not ever have another brand on my channel. But anyway, so I talked to Kat and we went through the affiliate thing, and she said basically, yeah, I have complete freedom to review products from any brand, and they still want me to tell them exactly what I think of their products. So like if I think a Bells of Steel product is not a good idea or I don't see the use for it. For example, I'm not a fan of the utility seat to this day. Or, I'm sure somebody's got a good use for it, but it's just not something that I find useful. I'm going to tell you. So what I do get is if you go to the Bells of Steel website, bellsofsteel.us. Let me go ahead and put this up here. You check out bellsofsteel.us if you're here in the States. Otherwise, go to bellsofsteel.com if you're not inside the continental United States. And you just use the promo code Best Gym in Town at checkout. And then when you don't have to make a purchase right then and there, but if you do come back and purchase, then we'll get 5% commission on the total sale, and you'll save 10% on the price of whatever you bought. As I said, I still have total freedom to review products from other companies, and I'm under zero obligation to give a positive review of anything that Bells of Steel makes. I'm just being compensated if you guys decide to go to Bells of Steel, buy something, and use my promo code. But I wanted to tell you guys this. Why did I go through this long speech? Because I can no longer say that I don't have any financial interest in you going to Bells of Steel. So when I recommend Bells of Steel to somebody offline or just in casual conversation, I can no longer tell them, hey, I'm not getting paid anything for sending you there. Does that, you know what I'm saying? And that was something that I was consistently saying, because I wasn't getting paid anything for recommending that you go visit their site. And now I will. And I just want to make sure that you guys understand that although we do have a partnership, things are, in the past when I said I wasn't getting paid for recommending them. And even though I'm going to get paid, if you guys use our promo code, it's not going to change how I am approaching reviews of Bells of Steel stuff from an objective standpoint. All right. I just want to make sure everybody's cool with that, because I feel like the number one thing that you have as a content creator is your integrity and the fact that people have to know and trust you, right? So if you are a trustworthy person, but everybody thinks you're a liar, then that doesn't help, right? So I've worked hard to build my reputation up, and I hope you guys see me as a trustworthy person. Otherwise, why would you spend 3 hours every Friday listening to me? But I know I'm probably going overboard. I'm probably talking about it more than I need to, but I just want to be completely clear that this is a situation with Bells of Steel. And yeah, go to their website and use the promo code and support the show. All right. Jared sent me, what did you think of my utility seat hack I sent you yesterday with the Bells of Steel seal row pad? I'll be honest with you, dude. Yesterday, I was wrapped up in a bunch of different things. So I checked it out, but I didn't scrutinize it. So I'll tell you what. Let's try this right now. What time? Yeah, we got time. So let me go over here. Oh, cool. Okay. Jared. All right, I think that's it right here. Yeah. All right. So now I'm gonna share my screen so you guys can check out what he's talking about. Go ahead, get rid of this. Hide that. So this is what Jared sent me yesterday. Okay, let's go here and boom.
I had a utility seat in my gym the whole time and didn't even realize it.
So, okay, let me get rid of the sound. So I'll tell you, we had just had a conversation, Jared, about your shoulder. So I thought when you sent me that video and I looked at it, I thought you were trying to show me how your shoulder was healing up because you were doing Arnold presses, right? So I didn't even think about the whole hack with the utility seat thing. I was just like, oh, okay, he's showing me like his shoulder range of motion and then pressing without pain. So yeah, there you go. All right, I like it. If you've got a flat bench, so if somebody's got a flat bench and they've got one of these utility seats, I like it. There's like I forgot who, I think it was Joey actually. Shout out to Joey Echeverria who just joined the chat. Let me go ahead and stop sharing right here. All right, let's close that. I like that. Let's go back over. All right. So shout out to Joey Echeverria who just joined the show. Yeah, man, it's great having you. But I think Joey asked me about doing a video with the seal row pad, showing all of the different exercise variations. I have not forgotten about doing that. I am going to do it. I just had other videos that were ahead of it. But you're going to see that probably definitely not this coming week. And not the next week because I've got other stuff ahead of it. So not this Monday, not the next one, but the Monday after that, I'll have that video out for you, Joey. The different exercise variations for on the using the utility seat. So Matt says is the same with me and Beast Farm. I affiliate with them because I use them and trust them. If I didn't, I'd not affiliate. Transparency is always good. Yeah, man, I appreciate that. And here's the thing, dude. I posted a video about it was a sponsored Instagram post. And it's weird because Instagram isn't giving me the option for adding the sponsored post thing. So I always have to like put in the caption sponsored post, but there's supposed to be a thing showing that you can just click to designate as a sponsored post. So that's kind of annoying. But anyway, so I did a sponsored post and I put that as a sponsored post. And this person, this is back in the I think summertime, he looks at it, he says, and he got like personally offended because I recommended this product as a power rack for as a entry level power rack, and he said you should just you know if you had any integrity, you would recommend the Rep PR. I think the PR 1000 or something like that. Whatever their cheapest rack is. And he said that I should have recommended that. And I'm like, what's the deal, the difference between recommending that, which someone would have to get rid of if they plan to upgrade, and recommending this other rack that I think is just as good, that someone would have to get rid of if they plan to upgrade to one of the higher end rep racks like the full PR 4000 or PR 5000. I'm like, what's the difference? I don't see the difference, right? But he said, you were paid off. And I'm like, if you're saying that I got paid to do this, yeah, I get compensated when I work. That's the foundation of the American economy. You do stuff, you get paid to do it. You know, I don't come to your job and kick the spatula out of your hand while you're flipping burgers or whatever you do. Shout out to people who flip burgers. I appreciate your work and your efforts. Because without you, I wouldn't be able to eat burgers. But I don't come to your job and kick your, and pitch a fit because they're paying you to do your job. So back up off me. You got to relax. But anyway, so at the same time, but I know that there are people who are out there who get offended when they think that someone's making videos and getting compensated for it. And so I just like to be transparent. All right. Carp said, thanks for tuning in, guys. Said, always a fun time interacting with everyone. Man, I'm telling you, man, I knew you were gonna be a hit when I asked you to come on. And I can't wait to get you back on here. All right. So we already talked about that and we did the shout out to there. All right, let's go now. We're all caught up. So now let's go into our next segment, news and other things. All right, news and other things. Let's jump into news item. This is where I basically tell you guys about stuff that's going on that I think is important or at least interesting in terms of the home gym community. So the first news item I have is the American Barbell California Cerakote bar is on sale if you get it in the zombie green color. So you may be saying to yourself, me? What is zombie green? So let me go ahead and share that with you, and I will answer that right now. So this is the Cerakote. It's an IWF bar, so it's International Weightlifting Federation spec. So it's going to be more of like a bar for what they call functional fitness athletes. And they basically say that when they don't want to say CrossFit because they don't want to have to pay for the CrossFit to use CrossFit branding. You guys can see that the bar costs $395 brand new, or maybe let me see if you can see that. Can you guys see the pricing on the screen? I don't know. Well, in case you can't see the pricing on screen, the bar costs $395 normally. Okay, but if you get it in the zombie green color, then which is what I just popped up on screen, then it's going to be 39% off. So it'll be $239, and that includes shipping. So for $239, if you're into green, you can get this bar. It is a 28 millimeter weightlifting bar, so it's going to be thinner than a powerlifting bar, which is 29 millimeters. So if all your other bars are thicker or like the 29 millimeter, and you get this one, it's going to feel a little bit thin in your hands. This would be a bar I would use for deadlifting. It's also a 20 kilogram bar, not a 45 pound bar. So it's going to be, 44 pounds and some change. But it is finished with Cerakote, and it's made out of a steel alloy. They said the strength of the shaft is tested to 190,000 psi tensile strength, and they say it's got excellent whip, and they say it's going to have long-term performance. I will say the American Barbell is a reputable brand. Their most famous bar is probably the Chewy bar, but this bar, I don't know anything about it, but if you guys have been looking for a nice bar to use for like more, power clean, snatches, maybe front squats, and even deadlifts, something like that, then this would be a good bar to use for that, especially for only $239. The sleeves are precision machined, and they have a hard chrome coating, um, and it is a bushing bar. So it's got composite bushings in there. So there you go. Like I said, it is IWF spec. So that is available. I don't know how long that sale lasts because because that came in my mailbox. Let me look here and see if it says in the original. Let me hang on a second. I just saw two. I just got emails while I was looking at this. I need to pop that. Okay. Hang on. Scroll down. I'm looking for the original. Hey, this is out there deal. See, American Barbell. I'm looking to see when the sale is going to end. Oh, so they did have a sale that's extended. All right, so the sale has been extended. They said basically it's while supplies last. On this, they call it's a zombie green Cerakote bar. So again, if you want to get it, then you'll it's while supplies last. So I would assume if you go on there and it's not available, then they're out of it. They don't have it anymore. All right. Matt says, I hate the PSI strength. Just put loadable weight in kilograms or pounds. So the thing about the PSI is there's a great video. I forgot who did it. It might have been American Barbell, where they were talking about how tensile strength is not everything that you need to be looking for in a bar. But tensile strength just sounds good. It's like, oh, look at the tensile strength, 90,000 pounds tensile strength. Yeah. So the loadable weight is what's more applicable to what you're trying to do. And for me, I would be more concerned with, for what I'm trying to use it for. I would say, if I were going to get this, I would be more concerned with how much width there is in it. Because to be honest with you, I'm most likely to use a barbell like this for deadlifting. And then I'd probably use it as like a beater bar or something like that. I already have a bar that's a 20 kilogram bar with a decent amount of whip. So I don't need to get this one, but I get bars like this if I want to like practice. Occasionally I'll throw power cleans back into the training, and I would use this bar for something like that. Yeah, it might have been. I just remember it was a while back. If anybody remembers the video, go ahead and put the link in either the comment section or put it in the live chat, and then I will copy it into the video description. But there's a video that breaks down like why tensile strength isn't the only thing you need to look at in terms of a barbell if you're trying to pick out a good bar for yourself. Good catch, Joey. And he said, I think it's the company that supplies strength code for barbells. Yeah, I can't remember. I just know it was on my timeline. I remember watching it and everything. Because I watch stuff like that. Like more educational stuff. I watch that kind of stuff all the time. In terms of home gym content, just because I find it interesting. Like I watched that video. They had the Chinese. Did you guys see it when I posted the link in my community post of that video of how dumbbells are made? There's a factory in China, and they're showing how dumbbells are made, and I thought that was fascinating. So whenever I see stuff like that, I throw it in I'll usually put it in the community post. And so that means basically only my subscribers will see it. So that's another reason why you need to subscribe to the channel, because I put stuff like that in there all the time, so you guys can just see like what I'm watching. Said PSI means nothing to consumers. LOL, I want a stiff bar to make deadlifts harder. Well, okay, so I will say this, that the advantage of having a bar, of practicing with a bar that's got whip, is because if you do a competition where the bar is very whippy and you're not used to it, it will throw you off. So the best example is when people, back when the IPF had their thing where they broke up with USA Powerlifting, you had a lot of the USAPL lifters who were just upset with the whole situation. And so they went to, before USAPL became their own thing, and then the IPF created Powerlifting America, which I think is possibly one of the lamest federation names in existence, but whatever. But anyway, there's that a little bit of a gap right there, right? And so you have people who are crossing over from USAPL to the USPA. The USPA uses a deadlift bar that's got more whip, and people who were accustomed to lifting in USAPL with a stiff bar were thrown off because the whip would catch you. And what I mean by the whip catches you is in powerlifting, the bar has to go in one direction. So it can't go up and down, right? So if you pick up the bar off the ground and you start your pull and you're standing up. If the bar whips and it pulls you down for a second and then you fight and go back up, they're going to call that hitching, which is fine in strongman and in CrossFit. In powerlifting is not okay. So if you're not used to dealing with a bar that has whip in it, and you go to a meet where they do use a bar that's a little bit whippier, it's going to mess with you if your setup is one of those like grip and rip type setups. Because a stiff bar is a lot more forgiving, whereas a bar that has whip, you have to have a tight setup or it will pull you. Not only might you not be awarded a lift, but it could pull you off balance and you could actually fall or drop the bar on your foot depending on your stance. So there you go. All right. So anyway, that was the American Barbell California bar. All right. Channel note, I want you guys to check out our live stream of the USPC Shack Showdown. And I really need you guys, some of you guys have seen my competition live streams. If you have not seen my competition live streams, then I encourage you to check one out. But some of you guys have seen them. And if you go to my channel, you see I've got this video on there. It is the Shack Showdown. So I'll go ahead and I'll just share the screen with you guys so you can check it out. It's Garage and Life homepage. And you guys see right there, it's the Shack Showdown. It's day one. So it's a pro-am. So day one is amateurs. And although it's amateurs, there is a cash prize. They're giving away $500 to the best lifter, the best male, and $500 to the best female lifter. But that's an amateur day. And then the pro day will be Sunday. We'll be streaming. I'm going to be doing the live stream for that as well. But we'll be doing it on the USPC channel. So what I need you guys to do is go ahead and click the notification bell on that video. And in fact, I will grab it right now. Copy that. Go over here. I'm going to put the link right here in the live chat. And I'm putting the link in the description for the video for you guys who are watching on replay as well. But I need you guys to go ahead and click that link and turn your notifications on so you can check out the stream when it comes on, because it's going to be starting at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And I just need you guys to just drop in. And if you end up like not being able to watch the whole thing, that's fine. But just help me out in the very beginning. I think I can count on you guys to do that. Help me out in the very beginning because we want to get as many eyeballs on it in the very beginning as possible. Because they're a good group of people. Johnny's been on this channel a couple of times. Jonathan Black, who I'm not sure if Jonathan's still watching, but Jonathan competes in there. It's a cool federation, but it's one of the newer ones. And so they just started in 2020. And I'm just trying to spread the word out about them, what they do. And so if you guys would do that, just go ahead, click on that link that I just put there and turn in notifications so that when the thing does start, you'll be able to check it out. And I will say that it is for those of you watching, you can attest to this, that our competition live streams are a lot of fun to have on in the background if you happen to be in your gym training or something like that on a Saturday morning. All right, so that's enough of that. Oh, and if you have a brand, and we are still taking sponsors for the Saturday show, we will run an ad. If you sponsor it and you send me a video ad promoting your business, I will run your ad during the live stream. So we typically get between 3,000 and 5,000 views on our competition live streams. So over an 8-hour day, that's a lot of eyeballs who will discover your product. Okay. Now, next news item. This one caught me off guard. This is home gym adjacent. Have you guys heard of this theory that chicken being fried sounds like falling rain? Let me say that again. There's this theory out there that says that if you fry chicken, so it's in the pan with the oil and all that, and it's frying and it's bubbling and popping, they said the sound of chicken being fried sounds just like rain falling outside. I've heard rain falling outside. I have never actually sat there and listened to chicken being fried. However, if you are a fan of the sound of chicken being fried, I want you to know that there's a company called Hatch. It's a sleep wellness company. They have partnered with KFC to provide that sound to you on demand. I feel like you guys are not hearing what I'm saying. There is a company out there, and I got this off of PR Newswire. So I'm gonna show you this now, so you guys don't think that I'm fabricating stuff. But PR Newswire says KFC and Hatch invite you to fall asleep to the sleep-inducing sound of fried chicken. First of all, if I hear a chicken being fried, I feel like it will make me hungry. Okay, but they say it's a very soothing sound to fall asleep to. So, you can now you have two options. You can either purchase. There's an app. So there's a smart sleep device called the Restore 2. See if there's I guess, yeah. You get the smart sleep device, and then you got to get a Hatch Plus premium content subscription, right? For the Restore 2 smart device. And then I guess you put it like on your bedside or something like that, bedside table, your nightstand. And you can just program this thing and you figure out your sleep playlist, and it will play the sound of chicken being fried while you sleep. Option B is you can go to the Hatch for Sleep YouTube. I'm not making any of this up. You can go to the Hatch for Sleep YouTube channel, where you can not only find this actual sound, all these sounds here. So and I've got it for those who are just listening. I've actually got the Hatch for Sleep YouTube channel pulled up, and you could see that they've got like their various sleep sound videos. There's an entire section called KFC and Hatch. Additionally, there is a behind the scenes video that shows you how they collected the sound of chicken being fried. So you can not only listen to chicken being fried, but you can also watch this 2-minute, 29-second video that takes you behind the scenes as they go and get to the KFC test kitchen in Louisville to collect the sound of chicken being fried so that they can then play it for you on demand. So you could actually play it during the day if you wanted to, I guess. But if anyone, I'm not sure who would be, but if anyone is interested in this, I will provide the link in the live chat here, or I will provide the link in the description for those of you who are watching the stream on replay. Hey, post-workout meals are a thing, Jared, okay? Post-workout meals are a thing, so if I just, well, you see what it's doing to me. Let me drink some water and think about this for a second. I don't. This goes in the category of things that last night. Well, okay. This is in a category of things that last week I didn't know existed, and it would never have occurred to me to even look for. Okay. The sound of chicken being fried. Number one, I wouldn't have looked up the sound of a chicken being fried, but also it would never occur to me to put chicken being fried, that sound, along with sleep. Because to me, it still sounds like something that would make you hungry. I don't, or maybe it's the smell that makes you hungry, but I don't know. Matt says, you're saying I can listen to chicken, I'm not getting chicken. I demand riots upon. Yes, you can listen to chicken being fried all day. But I will tell you that if somebody sees your playlist and they see that the sound of chicken, that could be the fattest thing that anyone ever does. You listen to the sound of chicken being fried, like in your normal life. That's not something that regular people do. But hey, I'm just I'm just telling you. All right, a couple years ago, what's his name? Ray Lewis. Yeah, a couple years ago, multiple world champion Ray Lewis, powerlifter Ray Lewis, was on the Mark Bell Powercast, and they asked him, "Hey, what's what's like a food thing?" And like they asked him like a food. They used to ask like weird questions to kind of break the ice. Like they say, "Hey, give me a poop story. What's the weirdest poop story you have? Tell me about something weird you ate or whatever." And Ray Lewis said that he likes to take ice cream, melt it, and use that as the milk when he eats cereal, right? And up until this moment, that was the fattest thing I ever heard. Okay. Now, the idea that someone would listen to the sound of chicken being fried has taken its place. It is now on the throne for the most overweight thing I've ever heard in my life. Okay. I just don't see it. Said Louisville, home gym con, it all ties in. Look, Jake is watching. So if you would like Jake to arrange for KFC or this particular device, the manufacturer, to be there and they can just play the sound of chicken being fried all day, or whatever y'all want to accomplish, I'm sure Jake is open to suggestions. But yeah, all right. So that's the weird thing of the day. Joey said that sound will make me wake up extra hungry. I'm telling you, it goes back to like, who thought of this? And who said, you know what, let's go ahead. Not only you thought of it, but let's put some product development time into it to make this a thing. But all right, let's move on to the again, if you want any of these links, I'm kind of sad at you, but I will provide them to you at the same time because I believe in letting people live their life as they see fit. All right. Now, any of you guys drink like coconut water out there? So why am I expecting KCO to show up in this live? I don't know who that is, but if he's got any affiliation with fried chicken, we're done with that segment. We're moving on. But if he shows up and wants to talk about the sounds of fried chicken, I'll probably entertain him for a little bit at least. Scott, all in fit. Scott, you're talking about you got to hop in your home gym and work off some of the Halloween BS from last night. You just missed the food segment, man. We were talking about the fact that you can listen to the sound of chicken being fried to help you go to sleep at night. I'm not sure if that's going to be helpful to you or if that even helps you with what you're trying to get done right now, but I'm glad you're here. I just wanted you to be, now you're all caught up. Carp said the earlier versions of his gym was like 85% bells of steel. Oh yeah, I mean, I've got, like I said, I got bells of steel. Like the most recent thing I got from them was the change plate hanger because I needed it for the rack I have now, and so I put it on there. In fact, we're gonna go ahead and that relates to the recliner of rage topic that I'll be doing in a few minutes. But yeah, I got several bells of steel things here, which is my other criteria. I can't promote something or suggest it if I don't actually have their stuff. So I've like actually just bought stuff because I wanted it. I just bought it from their website and I've got it here and I've never actually done a video on it. A couple of things I did a video on, but a lot of stuff I got in here I just never did a video on it because it just hadn't come up in the calendar yet. Because as Carp was saying, like if somebody is sending you you got a brand deal, that goes to the front of the line. So there's that. Anyway, so any of you guys drink coconut water? So put it in the chat or put in the comment section if you drink coconut water. I know that there are people out there who like to drink coconut water. My mom likes to drink it. I drink it, but not all the time. I mean, mostly because so when I started drinking Coke, for those who don't know, I'm from West Africa. I was born in West Africa to West African parents. I actually became American later on in life after I was already a member of the United States Marine Corps. So we would actually drink coconut water from coconuts because there's I think we had a coconut tree in our backyard in the house that we had when I was born, as a matter of fact. But anyway, at least where my earliest memories are from. So buying coconut water here in the States in the container, I kind of I just, I wanted to, if I'm drinking coconut water, I wanted to come out of a coconut. I'm just bougie like that, I guess. But that's because of how I grew up. So, anyway, so the reason why I want to know is because the next news item is apparently and why this matters is you can't trust all these label claims, right? So apparently there's all these companies like Vita Coco is one. They say that their labels are, the label says, okay, it's BPA free. Well, apparently there is a company called it's a nonprofit called the Center for Environmental Health. And they apparently sent legal notices to 11 companies for selling canned coconut water. And it was found to contain high levels of the chemical bisphenol A, which is what BPA stands for, despite the fact that the product said that they were BPA free. So I said, so one of the brands I mentioned already is Vita Coco, Zola, C2O, 365 Whole Foods Market. So you guys go to Whole Foods. If you get their coconut water, it says BPA free. Not so much. Parrot, Sprouts. I know a lot of people like Sprouts. Doritos. That's you typically find that in gas stations and stuff. But that's more of that's a Latino, that's a brand popular in the Latin American community, as is Goya, Sun Harvest, Rallies, and Iberia. All of these brands claim that their coconut water is BPA free, but testing found that there's high levels of BPA in the canned beverage. The reason why it matters, it's been linked to reproductive dysfunction and brain and behavior disorders. I don't get super excited about stuff like that because I'm like, well, what's the dosage that you would need in order to have all these issues? And I can't imagine anybody overdosing on coconut water because as hey, what's up, cuzzo? That's my cousin April. Yeah, she's I'm sure you drank some coconut water in Liberia. But here's the thing with coconut water. It's over here, man, people will drink cans of it for some reason. In Liberia or in West Africa in general, I don't know anybody that just drank a ton of coconut water because, as I said, you get a coconut, you chop it open, you drink the water, then you eat the what's called the meat, the white part, and you're done, right? And nobody overdoses on it because if you consume too much of it, that's going to have a laxative effect. So I would assume that you're going to have that laxative effect well before you drink enough of this stuff for it to affect your reproductive health. But hey, I'm also done having kids, so I'm not super worried about it. And I also don't like coconut water that much to even drink that much of it. I just told you I don't like coconut water unless it's in a coconut. So there you go. But Jared says, yes, I'm trying to get away from drinking out of plastic. Okay. So let's see. Now that's interesting. He said, my wife turned a pasta sauce glass jar into a shaker cup for pre-workout. Works just fine. Throw a metal ball thing in there. Yeah, so my Visp that you guys see me using, that's actually glass. So you can get the same effect, though, if you take one of those stirrer blender things that people use for cappuccino and use the glass jar and then use that, stir it up, and then, it works fine. My only concern is I don't want it to break. So the Visp does not go into the gym. That's the only reason why I use the plastic bottle. So if I'm going to go into the gym with a shaker bottle, I'm not getting paid for telling you this, but actually, I might be able to link this to YouTube Shopping. So if I am, then go ahead, click that shopping button. Otherwise, Ice Shaker, you owe me some money. But I use my Ice Shaker because it's a steel shaker bottle, so it's BPA free. That's not why I use it. I stopped using plastic bottles because I don't like dealing with the smell. If you've been drinking protein out of a plastic bottle for too long, it doesn't matter how much you wash it, it's going to start having an odor. So you'll have to put your plastic shaker cup in the microwave, which if you're concerned about chemicals and whatever, it's going to create a whole nother list of problems. But you put your plastic shaker bottle in the microwave and zap it for like 30 seconds to a minute, and then it'll get rid of the smell. I know people can say you put bleach or whatever in there, but yeah, I don't do bleach and stuff that I drink out of. I'm just not I want to live. All right. Anyway, so that was your food alert for the day. And we'll just go and we'll link that to the sounds of chicken being fried as the food segment. Last news item before Recliner Rage is Nike is. You guys remember when Nike decided they were going to get into the gym equipment market? I think it was like earlier in the summer. And we were kind of like, I don't know about that, right? And at the time, everybody I knew who was talking about it in conversations I had was like, basically the reason they did it was because Nike has their Nike gyms. And so we were assuming that they came out with their own equipment line because they wanted to put their equipment in their gyms instead of having to pay. Like if you have a gym, then you got to buy equipment from somewhere or you got to lease it. So Nike was like, why are we going to do that? Let's just make our own. So we don't have to pay anybody, right? And so we thought that that's what they were trying to do. Well, guess what? Nike now has their own line of equipment. And it is the Nike Victory Home Gym Setup. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can check this out because you probably are not as familiar with it. Or you may have been familiar with it already, but I wasn't. So this is the Nike Victory Home Gym Setup. So for the whole thing, currently it looks like it's on sale. $3,993, which is basically $200 currently. It says free shipping, but those of us who are on this show, you should know as an educated consumer, there's no such thing as free shipping. They've just included the shipping cost in the price of the item. So then they're giving you $200 off currently. I'm not sure if it's just on sale for whatever, if there's a special promotion going on now or what, but whatever. Anyway, $200 off. So it's normally $41.93, and right now it's $39.93. All right. First thing that jumps out to me, I don't know. Matt says Nike does Amazon gym gear. So y'all gonna, well, this might make you laugh, but when I first saw this stuff, right, the first thing I thought was, it looks to me like, I don't know if you guys have been on Etsy, but to see this stuff, but on Etsy, so when my daughter has a dollhouse, so I put together this giant dollhouse, right? And so as a joke, I ordered some plastic toys that were weights, right? And I said, well, if it's a house, you got to have a home gym. So I put some plastic weights down in like the garage of this dollhouse, and I got them from Etsy. And when I was looking at this picture, it looked to me, why is it so hot in here? Hold on a second. All right, there we go. All right, that's better. Side note, it is currently raining outside. So later on, if I have nothing else to do, I will check to see if it sounds like chicken being fried. Anyway, so yeah, you guys see this rack. See this power rack here, and it looks to me like these toy weights that you can get on Etsy. So let me show you what I'm talking about right here. Home gym toys. Yeah, okay, this is it. So I'll show you guys, and you tell me if this is a. All right. So first of all, if you've never been on Etsy and you got a home gym, you need to get an Etsy account because you'll find all kinds of cool stuff on here, right? But so these are all, like little toy weights, right? So this is like a squat stand, it's a pen holder, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about any of this stuff. So yeah, there you go. This is like what I'm talking about, right? So look at this, and then look at this. Does that not look like the same thing? So this is the Nike full-size equipment, and this is the fake equipment for a doll. So check this out. Look at Barbie getting ready to get a hit of PR. Barbie's putting in that work. Look at that. That's a lot of weight she's throwing overhead. I bet you those are like those bumper plates though. That's probably only like 50 pounds. I feel like Barbie's gonna need a handoff right there because I don't see her reaching the bar right there. But anyway, so you see these weights, and if you've never seen this, like this stuff is like incredibly detailed. There's one, actually, there's one here. I think this is it. I'm going down this rabbit hole. Yeah, there we go. Check this out. Look at Barbie's on the elliptical. This is all like dollhouse furniture, right? Anyway, this stuff looks to me. Matt says she needs some Air Force Ones. Hey, I'm a fan of barefoot training. She's getting it in. But no, that's not it. There we go. Yeah. So look at that. Barbie's on the elliptical. But anyway, so let's go back to the this stuff. That's the first thing I thought when I saw it. I was like, this looks to me like toys, which does not inspire confidence, by the way. But let's go ahead. We'll go down the specs. So what comes with it is so it's an all-in-one home gym setup. Blah 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 blah. Okay, whatever. So the set includes a dumbbell rack, and then you have a choice of either the Nike dumbbells or the Nike Grind dumbbells, and those go from 5 pounds up to 50 pounds. And then there is a squat cage that comes with it, which is that right there. That's the cage. And I guess that's what the dumbbell rack looks like. But anyways, let's go back up. And it comes with 10s, 5s, and 2.5 pound pairs in change plates. And then the Nike Grind rubber bumper plates, you get a pair of 45s, a pair of 25s, a pair of 15s. You get an adjustable bench, which is not shown. Okay, that's it right here. They call it a rolling weight bench. So actually, it's not an adjustable bench. It's a rolling flat bench. So thumbs down to that, because what am I supposed to do when I want? I mean, I do know some hacks, as I'm sure you guys do too. If you want to do incline bench and your bench doesn't incline, but boo, that's hot garbage. All right, that it's not an adjustable bench. This is the bumper plate. Then you also get the Just Do It bar, which is that right there. We'll talk about that in a second. Then you get a plate tree / barbell holder, and of course you get collars. So you get all of that, and that's all included in the $3,993 or $4,193 once the sale ends, right? Now, one thing you gotta think is like that Just Do It bar. From what I could tell, it is an all-around barbell. So it's kind of like that American, not in terms of quality, I'm not saying that, but in terms of what kind of bar it is, it's more like an all-around functional fitness bar. So that's a 28 millimeter shaft. And it says that it's got a medium volcano knurl and it's got no center knurl, right? So, but they do have a power bar. Nike actually has a power bar. So I'm curious. It's called their 1972 power bar. And this should be, I guess they heard you, Matt. It says it's designed specifically for powerlifting, and they list the weight capacity. So it's 1,500 pound weight capacity, supposedly on this bar. This dude is, squatting with again, these are bumper plates, so I don't know how heavy that actually is, but that looks impressive, whatever. It's got an orange power stripe. So what I don't know is whether you can order like their home gym package and then say, hey, I don't want that just do it bar. I'd rather have the power bar or whatever. Like if they let you, pick out which bar you want. This one is a 29 millimeter shaft. They said it's got aggressive mountain knurling and it's got the center knurl. So anyway, that is what you get if you get the Victory bar from. That's what you get if you. If you get the Victory home gym setup. So I don't know if you guys are into. I'm gonna assume nobody on here is gonna be running out to buy Nike home gym equipment, but it is out there. So yeah, I know I'm not in the market for it. That doesn't mean that it's not good. I'm just not into it. All right. Carps said it's he said heavy metal barbell. And Matt said the power stripe helps you lift faster. Yeah, I don't think I believe that. I don't think I believe that. All right, it is now time for the segment. I've kept you waiting long enough. That was the last news segment. It is it's a heavy metal barbell in Minnesota. I'm not sure what that's referring to. What's heavy metal? Oh, is that the place where that guy was lifting? Give me I don't. Maybe I'm slow today, but I don't understand the reference to heavy metal barbell in Minnesota. Carp. When you get a second, just type out the rest of what you're trying to say, and I'll be happy. I'll comment back on it. All right. So I kept you guys waiting long enough. It is now time for the segment that I know you guys love more than anything else, and that is where I complain about things I don't like because y'all like to see me complain, I guess, for whatever reason. Which says a lot about you, But nevertheless, it's time for Recliner of Rage.
It's the Recliner of Rage.
It's the Recliner of Rage, 'cause he's not happy.
Let me preface this Recliner of Rage by saying this is not directed at everybody, okay? So if you feel like this doesn't apply to you, it probably doesn't. Okay. But there is one special category of people who it does apply to. And one of them flipped my dang on switch this past week. All right. So today's Recliner Rage is dedicated to people who watch YouTube reviews just to make a point. Like they're not watching it to learn anything. They're not even watching it for entertainment. They're watching it because they cannot wait to jump out and say, I got you. And, they're like the actually person. You're trying to make a presentation in school or at work or something like that. And you get that one dude, actually, can't stand that dude, right? He's right up there for me with that guy on the team, whether it was, everybody played a sport. Well, if you played a sport, there was always one guy, regardless of sport, there's one person who was like, the coach is like, I can't believe nobody brought their water. He's like, I got my water right here, coach. That guy, right? That guy right there. So he's number one. Okay. But then the actually guy, he's right below him. And there are some actually people on YouTube. They cannot wait. You make a review and they cannot wait to come up they sprint into their keyboard to type up some fact because they figure they caught you in something. So I'm gonna say I recognize that I'm not perfect and I do make mistakes. So I'm not telling you guys not to make comments. Please do. And if you see I made a mistake about something, Or if I say, I don't know the answer to this, because I'll tell you flat out, I'm like, I didn't really check on this. Or if I don't mention something, please continue to comment. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the love. And I appreciate you guys because you help me out. And you also make me think. So I like that. What I don't like is this. So I did a video of the Iron Bull Strength PR2. And I mentioned that it is a metric 3x3. So it is 75 millimeter by 75 millimeter. But I mentioned also that I tested attachments from multiple companies on it, right? So I said, okay, the company says it's not a true 3x3. And I read to you guys why they said it's not a true 3x3. But then I also said I've tested attachments personally from other companies to see if they fit. And here comes, well, actually, he said, well, actually, based upon the specifications, Bells of Steel is a true 3x3, and so those attachments will not fit. This is after he watched the video, supposedly, and heard me say I had tested Bells of Steel stuff, and I showed what you're about to see, this video of myself using a Bells of Steel attachment on the rack. That's me using a Bells of Steel attachment on the rack. So it's obviously on there. So I'm demonstrating that it's actually on there. And then I showed I showed the chain split peg as well. But the most important one is I showed this in the B-roll, me actually using a Bells of Steel attachment on the rack. On the rack. This is me showing it, right? Despite that, well, actually ignores this video of me using the Bells of Steel attachment on the rack and says, well, actually, because Bells of Steel is not is a true 3x3, these metric attachments won't fit on there. And I'm like, so did I like hallucinate the scene where I multiple times used a Bells of Steel attachment on the rack? Are y'all hallucinating right now? Those of you who are watching, whether you're watching live or on replay, are you hallucinating watching me use a Bells of Steel attachment on the rack? Right there on the rack? You know, explain, you know, seriously, just seriously. I'm not making the junk up, all right? Look. This isn't even somebody who owns the rack. Number one, I'm the only person, as far as I know, I'm the first person / the only person here is November 1st. I'm the only person who's put out a review of the Iron Bull Strength PR2. Well, that doesn't mean I'm the only person that owns the rack, but I know there's a timeline when these racks get sent out for when you have to get your stuff out there. So I know that Tim Stewart mentioned, and he had told me before, but then he said in the comments of the video that he was getting one too. So I'm not like putting out information that you guys aren't supposed to know. So Tim from Gym Crafter has one coming. So he may have it already. He may not. I don't know. But the point is, the likelihood is that I'm the only one with one of these racks, right? So this guy is reading specs from the website. Okay? He's using specs he read on the website to contradict my experience actually using the attachment in real life. Oh, there you go, Matt. I can always depend on you to. You want to see it again? I will play it again. Watch this. There you go. See if you can see it now. That's me using the attachment on the rack. Don't make me put this thing on loop so you just watching me periodically use the attachment on the rack. He doesn't own the rack. He just read stuff on the freaking website. And they're going to come argue with me about whether it will actually, what I demonstrated works. He's arguing with me about what I demonstrated works, about whether it will work or not. I'm like, what's wrong with you? You see, that shows that you didn't watch the video because you were in too big a hurry to run to your keyboard to type your well actually. I cannot stand that. Look, I'm not reporting my opinion. When I do a review, I'm not reporting my opinion about something. I'm reporting live from the scene where I actually tested the thing out. Okay? This happened as a historical event. It happened. It wasn't Fernando. Fernando works at Vitamin Shop, even though I feel like he drives around in front of me here on the highways down here. But no, I know I'm not saying the person's name because I'm not trying to put him out there like that. I'm not trying to put him on blast. I'm just saying that annoyed me because he's not. The reason is basically he's not the only person. So if I put him on blast, then I would feel like, in fairness, I have to put everybody else on blast who does it too. So I'm just doing the blanket. Look, man. And I'm saying man specifically because women haven't done that. Women who watch my channel have not done that. Okay. So back to, look, man. I know you can't wait to be right. And you can't wait for me to be wrong. But what are we doing here? You saw me use the thing. How are you going to read some specs on a website and tell me, well, there's no way that I actually saw you do the thing that I saw you do? You think this is AI? I got special effects in the budget? Come on, man. Like, seriously, what are we doing here? What are we doing? I can't stand that. I can't stand it. And why would I make it up if I say, why would I even, what do I get out of telling you that something fits on a rack if it doesn't fit? Just come on, man. One more time. Come on, man. Anyway, Recliner Rage is sponsored by Freedom Fitness Equipment. This is the only place to get garage gym like banners, and there's no need for you to be in a Recliner Rage. All right, there ain't no reason for you to be mad all the time because you didn't get the home gym equipment you got, and you can't find what you're looking for. Put Jared at work, make him do all the work for you, and find the stuff that you need. He'll get you hooked up, get your gym outfitted, and you'll have the best gym in town. The easiest way to do that is to go to freedomfitnessequipment.com or give him a call on his phone, 980-216-4860. He will answer that at any time during business hours, and he will get you hooked up so you can have the gym that you've always wanted right there in your house. All right, we are at 8:22, 22 minutes past the hour. Shout out to the Mountain Time Zone. Thank you guys for joining and getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. It's about 6:22, I believe, your time. Maybe it's 5:22. Has the time zone thing got y'all yet? Is it five? It's either 5:22 or 6:22 in the Mountain Time Zone. Regardless, thank you for waking up early and checking out this program with me. Let me say it this way. Thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. This is a great show, and it's honestly, the more I do research on this, this is the only live morning fitness show on YouTube. And I don't think there are any live morning shows on Instagram or anything like that. They do have some live shows that have like workouts or whatever, but this is the only live variety show, the live podcast, where we actually allow you to interact with the guests. So this is something special. I've actually seen people request other podcasts be live like mine and say, hey, can we have it live and have a live? Can we do this podcast live and do a live chat? And they've all been like, hey, it's something that they're trying to work out, or maybe they'll do it in the future or whatever. So right now, November 1st, 2024, I've got the only live podcast where you can actually call in and interact. Not call in. No. You can actually, occasionally I'll let you guys come on. But this is the only show where you can actually interact with me and my guests. All right, whether that be the owner of a brand or as we'll have to have Ashley come on. It's another content creator across YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. This is the only place where you can ask questions live instead of having to put them in the comment section and hope that they see your comment and respond to you. All right. So thank you guys for being here. Only other thing I need you to do is hit that like button and hit subscribe. I'm trying to get to 50,000 subscribers because I want other people to discover this show the way that you did. And so help me spread the word, share the link, and then also hit that like button, hit subscribe. Got to get to 50,000 subscribers. We're almost there, and I know we can do it with your help because we got to just under 40,000 because of you guys. So I know we can get to 50,000 if you guys will help me out and do that. All right. Now, speaking of sponsoring the channel, if you are in the market for a high quality weighted vest, check out ion.com. I think that these are the best weighted vests on the market. My uncle has one, and he fell in love with that thing, and the family laughs at him now because he refuses to take it off. And it's just it's cool for me seeing that he's got something that he really enjoys using. I love the design of that weighted vest because it is different than the other weighted vests on the market that kind of look more like they look kind of like the sappy plates that like the flak jackets that we had in the Marine Corps. And the Ion vest, I mean, some of their versions of their vests you could actually wear like to work. So you see they've got the men's workout vest, which is the version that my uncle has, and he's actually worn that to work as well. They've got the crop vest for women. They've got a women's full length workout vest, and then they've got a boardroom vest that's chevron gray that you could also buy. But if you guys will go there, go to Ion, and you want to use promo code GarageGymLife at checkout, you will save 10%, and you'll also be supporting this channel as well. So go ahead and do that for me. All right, now let's move on to our next segment. This is our, I believe, let's see here. We only got 2 segments before we got Ashley coming on at the 9 o'clock hour. So we're going to pick up speed and cover this right here. So been a minute since I've been able to do this. I've just been running out of time in my shows. But it's time for me to recommend a home gym channel to you. This is a home gym channel that I bet you never heard of, but you need to subscribe to it. In my humble opinion, this is a channel that is worth your attention. So this channel is the Marisa Inda channel. So let me go ahead and share my screen so you guys can check that out. If you are not familiar with Marisa Inda, you have probably seen her either on Instagram, where she's got she's got over 100,000 followers, but she's only got 15.6 thousand subscribers here on YouTube, which I think is a shame because she's got very, very good content. Where you've probably seen her before is on the Juggernaut channel. You've seen her probably on the Juggernaut channel because she's the person that demonstrates a lot of the moves for Chad Wesley Smith's videos. But her most famous video was when she went on the Ellen Show. And this video, I think it's got like, actually, let me search for it. I'll just do the quick thing on it. Ellen DeGeneres right here. So she went on the Ellen Show 9 years ago. All right. And this is, I'll pull it up here.
I am willing to bet you've never.
Here you go. So this is her appearance on the Ellen Show. I'm not going to show the entire thing, but basically Ellen, this is before she had her home gym, and Ellen saw her doing pull-ups in a video that was, she was obviously in a public gym. Ellen saw it and thought that was crazy. So Marisa has a gymnastics background, okay? And so she's able to do all this pull-up stuff here. Ellen thought that was crazy, and so she brought her on there. They interviewed her, and then she goes and she does her pull-up routine on the Ellen Show, and people are like, "Whoa, it's crazy! Like, how are you able to do this?" Right? She's got, so that's obviously Marisa is a very strong person, right? Now, let's go back a little bit. Go back to her actual channel, and I said that she's strong because she's got a gymnastics background, but also she's a former powerlifting champion. The funny thing is, the reason I first found out about Marisa Inda wasn't because of powerlifting. It's because her sister Marisol was one of my Instagram followers, and we were like in constant contact at the time because I think I only had like 2,000 followers on Instagram, so I talked to everybody all the time. And she linked the video to me, kind of like showed the video, or she didn't send it to me directly, but I saw it on her channel. It was like, "Oh, this is my sister on the Ellen Show." I said, "Oh, this is cool," right? So that's how I started following her. Then she ended up, she started doing home gym content. So Marisa's got over 20 years of lifting at a high level under her belt. She competed in bikini first, and then powerlifting, and she broke the all-time world record regardless of federation. So it didn't matter. Sometimes you break like a world record in your federation. No, she broke the all-time world record across federations in 2017 at the Arnold in the 58 kilogram weight class. So that's about 114 pounds. She was 42 years old and lifting in the open division. So she broke the all-time world record, regardless of age, regardless of federation, at the Arnold 2017. And then her last meet was IPF Worlds in South Africa in 2022. She's also the host of the Strong Mom podcast. She's had one of her guests was Jen Thompson. Shout out to Jen Thompson. I need to get her on the show. But you know, she's a school teacher. She's another one of those school teachers I have her time. But anyway, let's see here. Okay. And I just heard a weird noise. Not sure what that noise was. Oh, I know what it is. Google Calendar. All right. Anyway, there's a reminder that Ashley's coming on. Anyway, so Marisa, I said she's the host of the Strong Mom podcast. So she gives a lot of training. So her training videos show like calisthenics, weights, and conditioning. It's not CrossFit, but she's just like a hybrid athlete, right? Her recent videos, you guys can see them there. They cover staying disciplined in the gym. She's got a full body workout video that's got over 8,000 views. That video I said about her doing the pull-ups thing, that's got several million views on it. And then her video from the Ellen thing, you would expect it to have. It's got about 8 million views as well. But this video that's more applicable to us, she's got like a great bench press breakdown video with like it includes warm up. If you compete in the IPF, it's got the IPF approved setup, and then she's got tips for competition. So those of you who may be interested in competing in powerlifting, even if you just do the garage gym competition, these tips will help you bench more weights. Like I said, she got a lot of tips. Chad Wesley Smith uses her to do demonstrations for exercises all the time. So she's well worth following. It's crazy that she's only got 15,000 subscribers on YouTube. So hopefully that grows because I've told you guys about her. She does publish regularly. She published 7 videos last month. So she does publish regularly. So it's just not one of those channels where you go and you subscribe and then you got to wait like 3 months before they publish something that's kind of sporadic, but she does publish regularly. So go ahead, give Marisa a subscribe if you have any questions about her. I am working on trying to get her on the channel on this show, but even if I'm not able to make that happen, like I said, this is one of the channels that I watch personally. And it's crazy to me that she doesn't have a lot of subscribers, but I think it's because women see it and they get intimidated by her training. And then men see it and they kind of like just give it like a cursory glance. And they just say, oh, well, that's probably one of those like, dance workout video people. And they just kind of ignore it. But she legitimately has a lot of good content on there. If you're interested in getting stronger, she's coached hundreds of athletes. In fact, if you use the Juggernaut AI training, she's instrumental in helping put that stuff together too, along with Chad Wesley Smith. So it's a good channel, and I highly recommend you guys check it out. All right, last segment, and then we're gonna have Ashley come on. So we're gonna go back to Etsy because I found something I thought was cool when I was putting together the stuff for this video. I went on Etsy. Like I said, I got an account, and I went on there to look because I was trying to find the toy weights, right? But in the process of doing that, something else popped up on my screen, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. So I have a whiteboard in my gym, okay? And although I have my workout for the day is in an app, I usually copy it. I don't want to pull out my phone every 5 minutes, right? So what I do is I take the workout that I'm doing that day, regardless of what type of workout it is, and I write it on my whiteboard. And then as I complete each thing, I just cross it out, right? Well, that's great, but some people don't have the wall space because you've got other stuff on your walls in your gym. So you may not have the wall space for a whiteboard. And so I just saw this cool thing that is a rack mounted whiteboard. You may not think it's cool, but I do. So I'm showing it to you. So it's only 8.5 inches long, tall, whatever. and it's about 2.75 inches wide because it's designed to be attached to your power rack. So you can put it, so it's called the magnetic whiteboard for squat rack uprights. So it's magnetic and you actually mount it on your rack. So you can take it off, write what you want to write on there. So the example they have, in case you guys can't see it, or if you're listening to the audio version of this, they've got a CrossFit WOD on there. And so you write your workout down on that, and then you can cross it off. And so it's right there in front of you, right there on your rack. Okay. But you're gonna just literally put anything you want on there. Okay. And I just think it's kind of cool, especially for people who don't, like I said, have the wall space, because this will let you free up your wall space for something like storing equipment. So where my gym, you guys are familiar with my gym, my whiteboard is under the television. So that space is not available to me if I wanted to say, let's say hypothetically, I wanted to take all my attachments, my handles and stuff, and put them underneath the television on that wall, and then put a gun rack to store my barbells and specialty bars in that space where the my handle attachments are right now. I could do that. If I switched to this kind of whiteboard. I'm not personally going to do it because my wife and I sometimes work out at the same time, and that whiteboard isn't big enough to, we'll both write our exercises, the day's program. We'll both work it out. We will both write the day's workout on the whiteboard. So if we both happen to be in the gym that day, this isn't big enough. But for someone who doesn't train at the same time as someone else, or if you are the only one who trains in your home gym, then I think this is something that'd be kind of cool. If you guys are interested, I will share the link to it. This is not a sponsored link or anything like that. It's just something I literally saw it today. It looks like if you were to order it today, they said that you'd get it between November 6th and the 12th, depending on where you live in the United States. And so, yeah, if you guys are interested in it, let me know, and I will throw the link in the chat or in the description, depending on when you guys let me know you want it. If you're watching on replay and you put a comment, say, hey, I want that link, then I will respond with the link and just give it to you at that time as well. But I just think that that's a pretty cool thing. All right, so we now have get rid of that. We are caught up. We made it. All right, we got 20 more minutes. Let me go ahead and just jump back in here, make sure I did not miss any of the comments. Carp, I'm still waiting to hear what the deal was with the thing you were saying about Minnesota. So heavy metal barbell in Minnesota. So now you got me looking it up. Fitness. So I see heavy metal barbell club. That's Charlotte Strength in Charlotte, North Carolina. Heavy metal barbell. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Heavy metal barbell. Is this related to when I was asking like who the video was about, talking about tensile strength? I think that might be what he's trying to tell me. Hold up. Let me look that up. Tensile strength barbell. All right. So the starting strength. Hold up. Does it matter? Tensile strength is overrated. It was a Massenomics video. Okay, so I see it. There's but now I gotta see. See, y'all see, I do watch Massenomics videos. So tensile strength. It looks, so what I see right now is a short. So let me share my screen. You guys can see it. All right. Yeah. And yeah, so it was heavy. Okay, I figured it out, Carp. Never mind. I decoded. It's heavy metal barbell. And he's talking about why tensile strength does not matter. It's overrated. It doesn't matter. It's overrated. So I will, let me actually get that right here. Copy that. Because now I'm going to, let me stop sharing that. All right, now there you go. There's the link right there. So I've just put the link in the live chat, and I'm going to put the link in the video description, but I just put the link in the live chat. So if you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on YouTube, you can see it right now. If you're watching on replay, just go to the video description, and that link will be in the video description for the video I'm talking about. Massenomics tour. Let me see. And actually, let me see if I can find the actual video. Heavy metal barbell. Inside a barbell factory, the full tour. So let's do that. And I will link that video as well. Like it's the full tour. So yeah, I will link that video as well in the video description so you guys can see that. Looks like it's only like 14 minutes long. So yeah, you guys can go check it out. Check it out. In fact, I've never actually seen that full video. I've only seen the YouTube short. So now I got something I'm gonna add that to my playlist. I forgot to tell Carp earlier when I was talking about like the reasons why I watch videos. I also put it on if I'm on the treadmill. I create a playlist of stuff to watch. So a lot of times I see you guys' videos. If you're a home gym content creator, I'll see your video while I'm walking on the treadmill. And that's why I don't comment, because I watched it on the treadmill to, so you got the watch time, but you didn't get a comment from me. And then I have to like remember to go back and put a comment for the engagement or whatever. But a lot of the stuff I do, like just to keep up with what's going on, like I watch a lot of the Garage Gym Radio episodes when I'm on the treadmill. Because I've shout out to me, I had a restart, but as of today, I'm officially at 43 days straight. And when I say I had a restart, I was at the 60-day mark, and I changed time zones, right? I was traveling, and by the time I got to where I was going, it was already midnight. And so I only got 9,218 steps that day instead of 10,000. So because you got to get it from midnight to midnight. And so I didn't, and I keep it on, I always keep it on East Coast time, on Eastern time, whether I'm in a different time zone or not. But yeah, that threw me off. So I was traveling, I didn't get to do it. So since that day where I only got 9,218 steps, I've consistently hit at least 10,000 steps. I think the most I've gotten is 12,766. But regardless, nope, that's wrong. The most I've gotten since then is 14,000. What was I doing that day? I got 14,026 steps one day. Anyway, I got 10,369 last night. Why that matters is a lot of that's on the treadmill, but even if I'm not on the treadmill, I'll still have like a YouTube video playlist that I listen to. Because occasionally I'll look down and I'll just look at my phone. If I'm walking outside or something, I'll look down, look at my phone. A lot of times if I'm walking outside, I'll actually just put the podcast version on. But if I'm walking at work, or if I'm walking on the treadmill, then I have the YouTube video on, and I have like a playlist. Because basically it takes me about, I'll probably walk for like an hour. And a lot of times the YouTube content videos are like 15 minutes long. So I have to create a playlist, or else I'll be looking for something else to watch. So I just create a playlist with automatically each video plays one after the other. And I usually can bang out 3 to 4 videos that way in one treadmill session. So I actually do watch y'all stuff all the time. All right. Let me make sure that Ashley is all set, ready to go. Message her real quick. Hey, Boogie. Are you good to go? All right, there we go. All right. And shout out to you guys. Carp has already shared the he shared the video. He shared this video link today, and I appreciate it. You'd be surprised how many people become our guests on the show and then don't share the link with anybody. And I'm like, come on, man. Don't you, what is it, a secret that you were on here? You ashamed of me? Are you ashamed of me? Like, nah, help me out. Don't, if you come on the channel, go ahead, share the link with people. We want people to know that you were on here, right? So let's do it. Let's get the word out. But so Carp, I appreciate you doing that, getting the word out. And he just connected with me in the thing. Yeah, got the link to it and everything. Carp, you the man. Carp, you are the man. 8:45. Let's see here. All right. I feel like I'm missing something. I did that. And I like try to make a note to myself to say this during this episode. But then what the heck? I feel like I'm missing something I'm supposed to tell you guys. Well, obviously Ashley's coming on here in a few minutes, so if you have questions for her, go ahead and drop your questions in the live chat right now. If you're watching on replay, this is not what I was gonna say, but I'm saying it while I try to remember the thing that I think I was supposed to remember to say. You try to decipher that sentence. But anyway, go ahead. If you're watching on replay, go ahead and put your questions down in the comments, and I'll get Ashley to just circle back and answer them for you. Onan, yeah, man. Carp, you missed Carp, man. You gotta get up. The show's up way too early with Garage Gym Life, dude. I gotta get you up early. Actually, to be fair, I'm gonna message you again on Discord when the show's over because I need to talk to you about something on it. But yeah, anyway. Carp, because of his work schedule, is one of the select few people that I let come on before the 7 o'clock hour. Actually, can you guys hear me? Let me know. Can you hear me? Let me check my settings. So the audio seems off here. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? All right. Because right now it's telling me, the software is saying that you guys can hear that my audio is fine. So Home Gym Physique said audio seems off. Now, if you're starting from the beginning of the show, Home Gym Physique, yeah, my audio was screwed up in the beginning because I had to adjust my levels. Because I did a live stream of a strongman competition, and I had people behind me who were talking, and they were saying some not out of pocket stuff like bad, but they were talking about stuff that people just don't need to know. They were having like sidebar conversations. So I had to turn my audio down. So Onan said it sounds fine to him. Okay, so he probably started watching from the beginning. So I'm just going to put that in there. It was rough at the beginning. All right, so there you go. All right, yeah. So he says he can hear, but it sounds faint, and he only just tuned in live. All right, so just in case, I'll turn my stuff up a little bit. But there you go. So hopefully that's better. Anyway, so now I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, so I actually hate probably too strong a word. I dislike having people on as guests before 7 a.m. Eastern time. And the reason for that is because a lot of the audience isn't on yet, right? So you guys, the thing where you missed Carp, that happens a lot. I'll get people who won't be able to get in, or like who don't start watching the show till like 7 o'clock, right? Whether they're from another time zone or there's just how their day goes, right? And so I actually prefer to not have guests on until the 7 o'clock hour. And then I like to go from 7 o'clock is number one, 8 o'clock is my second favorite. And then if you got to do 9 o'clock, yeah, okay, hey, I'll work with you. But you're not going to get as much engagement if you do 9 o'clock a lot of times because people's work days have started. So I prefer, like, the sweet spot for guests for me is 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock. But then, I mean, if you're going to, so like Ashley is like a popular guest, right? People like Ashley. Well, I mean, what's not to like? But when she comes on, it's like we just got to make sure that people know, hey, tune in. So what I'll do usually if somebody's coming on at that time, I'm saying, hey, look, spread the word to the people who are in your network or who may have questions for you. Tell them to tune in specifically at 9 a.m., for example, or tell them to tune in specifically at 6 a.m. Eastern time, specifically. That way people will know, tune in, that's when I'll be on. And then if they drop off, they drop off. But that's it here. Actually, I can see you, but all I can see is your neck. I cannot see your entire, I see your I see your neck and your traps. So now I see your hand waving. You might have to adjust it to tilt it up, or you might have to just, I know you don't want to sit back too far, but look at that. Low tech, high effect. Just sit back further. Bam, look at that. Adapt and overcome. So what it's doing is it's cutting off your part of your head. Well, it may clean up when I bring you online. Arms and visit. Yeah, neck and trap games. That's right. Hey, Ashley's the person to ask about that. She's got a physique competition background. So Matt says I gotta leave because I gotta do some actual work. Leave the deer alone, Matt. Don't go wrestling any deer. So I'll catch you on replay for the last bit, and I'll chat with you next week. Yeah, man. Matt, in case you guys don't know, Matt's going to be the guest next week. So this will be his first official. He's been on before, just impromptu, but this will be his first official time as a guest. So you guys make sure you tune in next week. He's going to be on here. All right. And let's go. Ashley, are you ready? Okay. Thumbs up. All right. So let's bring Ashley on. All right. Everybody, show their love. Show your love. Final guest of the day. Final guest of the day. Actually, hold up. We're going to do this because Ashley was in the Army. So here we go. Show your love for Ashley. Hey. And the crowd goes wild. All right. So I do need you to turn the camera, just because when I put you on by yourself.
Oh yeah.
See, that shows that it's been too long. Ashley, you gotta.
That's why you were only seeing part of me. Well,
yeah.
Let me.
Now you got me thinking Michael Jackson lyrics. It's just another part. See, got me singing. It's been way too long since you've been on here, but you've been busy. Hey, I gotta catch Ashley. All right, so I appreciate you taking some time out because I know you got all the things going on, and we're gonna talk about some of those things. In fact, today's November 1st. You're running a giveaway on Instagram right now, so let's actually start here. I was gonna start with your channel, but let's start with the giveaway. So if anybody wants to get in there, if they have time to still get in on it, I want to give them time to do it now, and then we'll talk about the other. So we're gonna go with the second question, then go back to the first, then go to the third. Got it. Yeah.
Got it.
You're running a giveaway on Instagram right now with 2XSR.
Yes.
And the deadline's today. So since you said there is still time to get in on it, go ahead and let everybody know what's up for grabs and what they need to do if they want to have a chance to win.
There's 2 different modular kits. They're really awesome. I actually have them sitting like right here in my garage, and they're really well made. So one of them is kind of like a sandbag, rucksack, drag bag. It's kind of an all-in-one, really well made. You can also turn it into a backpack. The other one is kind of like another modular system. Like there's 2 different versions. It comes with a hydration pack, so it's pretty much so you can take it anywhere. You can you can use it as a backpack for your travel, and then use it for some fitness things while you're there. Like there's a harness. The one side is smooth, so you can use it as a drag bag, and it is super versatile. I have quite a few of them. I have different size sandbags from them, drag bags, that rucksack. I have their plate carrier. So it's kind of like a little, anyway, their stuff is really cool. To enter to win, you have to follow us, you have to comment, tag some friends. I mean, it's a really awesome giveaway. And I just think that if people are giving away stuff for free, why not? Why not enter?
So I wanted to ask you specifically because I knew, it's like the kind of the standard Instagram thing, follow, tag friends, and that kind of stuff. But it also says that you got to go to their website and subscribe with your email. So do you need to do both things, or is it okay? You can either do the Instagram thing, you follow them and or go to their website and subscribe, or do you have to do both things? You have to do one and two.
Each one will get you an entry. So if you go and you follow, you get an entry, and then if you go and subscribe, you get another entry.
Okay. So all right. So so basically you could enter more than once.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right.
Which then increases your chances of winning.
Oh yeah, definitely. And who doesn't like winning? So let's go. All right, so let's go ahead and get that there. So if you guys want to do that, you want to head on over to @Ashley ___ the ___ amazing ___. Now you know why we call her 332. All right. But go over there on Instagram and you will see it. It's like maybe the 3rd or 4th post. Just scroll down on her timeline feed and you'll see that post there. But you got to do it today. So if you're watching this on replay on November 2nd, I'm sorry, but you missed the giveaway. So then you want to follow her because the next time she does a giveaway, you don't want to miss it. All right. But that was it. So that's that's one of the announcements that you got for today. Now let's go back to question 1. Your channel is growing. I see you all over the place. So how's everything going for you?
It's going great. I absolutely love being all over the place. It's surreal to kind of see my face like everywhere.
Everywhere. And I do mean everywhere. So you've been, actually, hold up. You went to Force USA. So some of the stuff you're doing, you're not actually like going out to the places. But what are all the places that you've been to just as part of creating content?
I mean, Home Gym Con. I've been to Force USA. I went to Rep. I think those are the only places I've traveled to.
Okay.
This year.
Okay, so that's where you traveled to, and then you've done like some you created content for multiple things. So you got like your what is it, the metabolic metabolic nutrition.
Yeah, metabolic nutrition supplements. Yeah, they're my sponsors.
Them too earlier, did you not?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right, so you've done stuff for them, and then you've done like a bunch of different home gym products. So are people like reaching out to you now?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice. All right. Now, is that different? How did Home Gym Con help you in terms of getting more brand deals?
Home Gym Con just helped companies see a female in the field because we're at Home Gym Con. A lot of the females there were like with their husbands or boyfriends. There weren't a lot there that are training, so to speak, as or like home gym, like hardcore people like we are, and just going there gave companies kind of like, oh, look, here's a female that can help us reach that demographic too that works out at home.
Okay. And see, that I think is I see your question, Home Gym Physique. I'll ask her. I think it says it in the post on Instagram, but yeah, I'll ask that question next. In fact, let me star it so I don't lose it. All right. Anyway, I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted you to do stuff for our channel, because I agree with you. It's like the home gym demographic, the home gym audience, the home gym female audience tends to be underserved when it comes to equipment reviews. And so a lot of times they buy stuff that's just, sometimes it's not up to par, it's not high quality, or they just buy the first thing because they don't see as many reviews, because a lot of the reviews are done by dudes, right?
Yeah.
And while that may not seem like it matters, as we had Joyce Vaudrey was on here earlier, we're in November now, so not earlier this month, but last month. And she just, like, in the live chat, and she mentioned, she's like, I hate it when companies just think that just by making something pink, it automatically makes it female friendly.
I was on your I was watching it when she mentioned that, and I thought the same thing.
Yeah, so remember when you did that, I don't know which company it was, but remember you did that leg press hack squat, and every guy who reviewed it said it was great. And then you're like, actually, I don't like it because it's not like the dimensions are kind of off, and you're tall for a woman, but you like the dimensions are off. I either have to do a calf raise to rack my weight,
yeah,
or I need to go down way too low. And so it's like, a lot of stuff isn't designed to be female friendly. So I understand women not necessarily, kind of like, basically they're underserved. And so I think that you're filling an important niche in the market. And the thing is that it's funny, because the problem with that guys have is, like, my wife knows you, all right? So it's not so if I did this, it wouldn't matter. But let's say hypothetically she didn't know you, and we had a different kind of, and she and I had a different kind of relationship. If I say to her, hey, you need to follow this woman who works out, who's fit, she's gonna think of it, in that case, some women think of it as like a judgment on them, right?
Yeah.
And then and even if they won't, the husband is like, I ain't telling her to follow you, because then she's gonna think that I have like this judgment call on her. You know what I mean? And men are like, I'm not about to start that kind of strife in my household, and I don't blame them. So, but the side effect of that is, it causes, like, there to be a limited number of women who are fulfilling the need, or filling the niche that you are. So I that's part of why I was like, hey, I'm thinking that this is a good thing that you're doing, and I really am excited seeing you grow, because the other side of it is not just like, oh, well, she's a woman and she's doing it, but it's also, what you're talking about. You've got a very deep background in strength training and everything else, and so you can say, this is garbage, or you reviewed something, I don't remember what it was, but you were talking about, like, the strength curve was off, and that's the kind of thing that you don't typically get from reviewers, because a lot of times reviewers are just going to say, or they're going to talk about the neural pattern, the bolts, is it pretty?
Yeah, they talk about the aesthetics, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, aesthetics should be second. Does it actually do what it's supposed to do?
Man, I wish that was on a t-shirt. Does it do what it's supposed to do? That's like the mantra. And anyway, yeah. Everybody's like, oh, but it's got clear coat. I'm like, yeah, but it sucks because it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So yeah, there's that.
I got a quick little funny story. So what was it? Concept 2 just a week or two ago released their new strength rower, and someone that we all know commented, "Do I see knurling on the handlebars?" And I was just like, out of all things, that's what you initially want to ask, is if the handle on the concept has knurling. Like, let's see if it actually does what it's supposed to do, and if it actually, like, is going to help people get fit. Like, knurling should not be our first focus, and that's one of the reasons why I can't stand this individual. But because he talks about aesthetics because he doesn't know what he's doing. But
So now you got me thinking about it, is like that specific product. If it did have knurling on the handle, I would. Well, I ain't gonna buy it anyway. But if it did have knurling on the handle, I would definitely not want it. Just like the shoulder rock. The thing that turns me off about the shoulder rock is there's knurling on the handle. You've done mace work, and you know how it chews up your hands.
yeah.
Nobody who's seriously doing mace training wants knurling on the handle of a mace.
No, and like so that unit too. Think about the demographic they're targeting. They're not like that unit isn't going to be somebody who actually wants to strength train. It's somebody who wants to just train to be healthy. They don't care about knurling. The people who are using that don't want chewed up hands. Mind blown that this person was like, but is that knurling? Like, who cares, bro? Like, that's not the demographic they're going for here. That's going to appreciate.
That's another
knurling.
t-shirt. That's another t-shirt. Who cares, bro? All right. So the question that Home Gym Physique had was about your giveaway, and he said, "Is it a worldwide giveaway or just for the U.S.?"
That's a good question. I think it's just US, but
I'll look on it right now. I'm scroll down.
I don't have the
Applies
exact
to
answer for
U.S.
that.
and Canadian customers only. So there you go. I just saw that in the caption. So there you go. All right. All right. Let's go back to bam. All right. Are you ready to make your discrimination? Let's go with shipping. Yeah. He's like discrimination. And I'm like, shipping costs.
Yeah.
And actually, well, let me say this. I have zero affiliation with that particular brand. I know Ashley does, but I don't. So when I say this, it's not because I'm defending the brand. There are regulations governing giveaways that vary from country to country. So that's the reason why some giveaways are only in the US and some are only available to North America and things like that. So that's one reason why they don't make it a worldwide giveaway. But then shipping is also a big reason too. All right, Ashley, are you ready for this big announcement? We've been waiting for the announcement. We want to know. And are you prepared? All right, I'm going to give you the big screen. Dun, 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 dun. Big screen. All right, we ready to leave. What's this announcement that you and Jake have?
Okay, so the announcement is in 2025, right? We have the Garage Gym Games at Home Gym Con, which already consists of the Strongman event, the Grip event, the USAW event, the Deadlift event, and we are adding another one. And I am the director, coordinator, programmer, all in one inclusive hybrid competition. Yay! So the hybrid competition is it's going to be for people in the home gym, garage gym community that it's not CrossFit, it's not high rocks, it's not street parking. It's kind of a little bit of a blend of all that. So it's just for the person that likes functional fitness, that likes to dabble in a little bit of everything. Kind of like myself, where I do a little bit of everything. It's going to be awesome. We're giving away there's a total of $2,500 worth of cash for placing. We can have 40 athletes, 20 males, 20 females. Males are going to go on Friday. Females are going to compete on Saturday. There's going to be 3 different events they'll compete in. And then it's going to be tons of fun. I made sure to include companies and the equipment that's going to be at Home Gym Con, so you can, play on their stuff and then go check their booths out. Oh my goodness, it's just going to be a really good time. It's nothing that anybody can do it, right? It's our first year. We're already kind of looking bigger for 2026, but just for 2025, we're getting it out there. We want people to come and have fun and just compete with each other. It's just an open event for this first year, so there's no age groups or anything, and so there's no scaling, but everything is going to be able to pretty much, as long as you show up with a good attitude, you'll have the time and energy to do it, because it's very low skill. We just want people to enjoy it and move their bodies, and the hybrid competition at Home Gym Con.
So what are the events, or are you able to tell me what the events are yet?
Yep. I'm gonna post the event information and link. It's on my Instagram page, but I'm gonna like just be blasting it everywhere. So the first event is kind of like a mixed medley. It's gonna involve a heavy jump rope, like a 4 pound jump rope by Rope Flex, Thor hammer, smashes.
Hold on. So it's a heavy jump rope. So is it for time, or is it like
It's for reps. It's going to be kind of so there's going to
they'll
be
just count every time it goes in a revolution?
yeah.
Okay.
And it's
Okay.
low skill. It's those big thick actual rope. So it's
Okay.
not like a speed rope. It's just slow and heavy. Something different. We got Stronger Grip Metal Master giving us some sledgehammers and stationary targets, so you get to like smash some things. There's going to be a let's see, we got that. We got freedom. No, not freedom. Sorry. Yeah, freedom strength. Freedom strength. We're doing some sandbags with them.
Don't let that bother you, because that happens to me too. Because I'll think freedom strength when I mean freedom fitness. Or I'll think freedom fitness when I mean freedom strength. And then I'm like, nah, that can't be right. But okay, so freedom strength. There you go.
Yeah,
JB.
JB from Freedom Strength. We got their training sandbag. I got one right behind me. I'm going to be posting that. So it's going to be kind of like a sandbag push up to a press. So it's going to be like 4 rounds for time. That first one is just going to be kind of a mixed medley. It's really going to blast your shoulders. And then the second event is going to be squat clean with an overhead squat hold, which should be really spicy. We had quite a few people test it out. So it's a 2-part event. So you have the squat clean, and then you have the isometric overhead squat hold for time. And then the last event is going to be so the first event, right, is kind of like heart rate anaerobic. The second event is more strength and power. That's why I chose the squat clean and the overhead squat. And then the third event is going to be cardiovascular kind of endurance. So I had to take into consideration, right, all the other events that are going on at the Garage Gym Games. And I wanted to do something different yet parallel. So if you're a strong man, you could still maybe dabble at like compete in this if you want to win money, because there's going to be some similar events. And then it's just, yeah, there's grip strength involved. But so I couldn't do anything that was already being done. So then the third event is going to be the climber from Body Solid. So it's 8 minutes.
Okay.
How many feet can you climb in 8 minutes?
Okay. Nice. So we got a question here. It says the squat hold was no joke.
Yeah. He was one of the. I tested it out on him.
Okay. Actually, didn't you just get a PR, Dustin? Did he get a?
Yeah. He just did last night while we were doing trick or treating.
I see everything, Ashley. I see everything.
In fact, he did 900 pounds on the ATX hex bar deadlift.
Look at that. We're gonna check this out right now. Look at this dude here. All right, 900 pounds. So you guys got that in April. Look at it. There you go. Up. All right, there you go. Didn't pass out. Success.
Yeah. His eyes were so red. He was wiped after that. That was
see it on his
amazing.
face. He's like, oh boy, my life just changed, and I saw it all.
Yes, that was incredible to see though. 900 pounds. That was a lot. I mean, he pretty much used every weight we had in the gym.
So I'm just gonna say, Dustin, that I noticed, because I have a keen eye, that you didn't deadlift 900 pounds until Ashley put up that Garage Gym Life banner.
Yeah.
And that's in the video. I'm not telling you that that's the reason why. I'm just saying she put up the banner, you deadlifted 900 pounds. I'm just saying 2 things. Those are the 2 things that happened. Historical events. And in fact, that was a special delivery. We stopped at your house and said, here you go.
Yeah, that was incredible. That was like
the deadlift 900 pounds.
Yeah.
You know, I'm here for y'all like that. Yeah, Dustin said I'm famous. Yeah, man, of course. So let's so I got going across the bottom. Everybody go ahead and subscribe to Ashley the Amazing on YouTube. If you are listening on Podbean, go to YouTube and subscribe to Ashley the Amazing, because you guys will be able to see a whole bunch of her stuff here. Hey, look, there you go, Dustin. That's what he said. Facts. The home gym banner and home gym setup changed the gains. My man. Next time I see you, I'm gonna hug you spontaneously. Let's shift gears just a little bit, because this goes back a few months, right? So for those who don't remember, every Friday I compile a list of, maybe news is stretching it, but it's stuff that I've found that I think is interesting, right? And I saw this thing, and I guess you pronounce it the cooler, whatever.
Oh.
And I was like, looks like I don't want to say it's a scam, but it looks to me like they built a sales model, and I've seen this happen a lot of times in the fitness industry. You get some studies that say a thing, and then you build a sales model based off of those studies. Or what's worse, you come up with a product, then you go and find some studies that supposedly support your product, right? And I felt like, again, I didn't do a ton of research, meaning I just read their claims and then I kind of like gave it the side. But the cooler, and I'll pull it up right here on screen so everybody who may not remember will see it again. But this is a cooler, and this product is a patented, first of its kind palm cooling device. And it supposedly lets you stay cooler, train harder, and recover faster. Okay. And it's based on Stanford University research. Okay. It cools within seconds. All right. So then I reached out to you and say, Ashley, I don't remember holding a block of ice in my hand, like holding some ice cubes in my hand and suddenly being able to squat more. Okay. So you are an exercise scientist, and I want to hear what your thoughts are about the cooler. It says normally we just say this kind of device in general, but because it's the only one out there, it's going to have to be about the cooler. So let's stop sharing the tab. Tell me, what have you found about this thing? Do we all need to rush out and grab two so we can cool our palms off and whatever?
So once you introduced me to the cooler, I did.
Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby. He said, "Could you introduce me?"
I did
sounds
look
like I
up some.
endorsed it. I just told you it existed. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I did look up some studies, and as you said, companies will take pieces of studies that fit their marketing model and hone in on that, and they will leave the rest of it out. So in a couple of the studies, right, they used cooling devices. It wasn't a cooler, but they used like these copper infused gloves, and they did some studies where you put your hands in ice water, and there was, for a few athletes, some sense of cooling or increased performance. But in all the reading I've done and in my experience, I think it'd be a very gradual, like a very tiny acute effect. So the whole purpose is, right, you're supposed to, the thermal conductivity, right, which is how heat transfers from one object to another. So if you open up your fridge, let me backtrack. You open up your fridge, and your fridge is set at a certain temperature. So everything in there is at that temperature. But when you touch different items, they're going to feel cooler than other ones. And that's because of the rate of heat transfer through some materials is faster than the other. So I'm not sure what the cooler is made of, but for example, copper transfers heat faster. So if it's copper infused, you're going to have a quicker cooling effect. So the whole premise is you grab this palm cooling device, and it helps cool off your blood vessels in your hand, because we have very nerve endings very close to the surface of on our hands and toes, which is why we get frostbite and stuff so quickly. There's not a lot of subcutaneous fat or anything like that. So like when you put your hand in ice water, immediately your vessels are going to vasoconstrict. So you grab onto this device, and it's supposed to cool the blood in your hands, which is going to cool off the rest of your body. I don't actually think it's really worthy of investing in. And then, some people could say, well, why not just stick your hand in, some cold water? Well, the thing about that, and especially when it comes to like people that do ice baths, is that you will, when you put your hand in a thing of water, your body, you get this like heat layer around you. So that's why when you do your hand in an ice bucket, or if you're in an ice bath, you have to keep moving around, or else you're going to have this warm barrier around you, which isn't going to, change your effect so much. So, polymer cooling devices, I understand at a certain temperature, internal temperature, right, our performance is going to decrease. And that's seen with, certain temperatures outside in humidity, right? We have to have certain temperatures and humidity levels so our sweat can evaporate and cool us off.
Right.
Having a palm cooling device, I don't feel as though really worth it to really give you like this extra edge, unless you're kind of like the top elite athlete in the entire world, and that 0.1% of of performance increase is going to make or break the difference between you winning an Olympic gold medal. But I feel as though for most of us, it's really not going to make that big of a difference. Of course, it's going to be subject dependent and subjective. Some people are going to be like, wow, I used it, it helps, I'm going to perform better. But objectively, there's not
That could be
enough
placebo,
research
too.
really. Say again?
That could be placebo.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you believe
subjective.
it works, so then it does.
Yeah, exactly. It's subjective. It's the person, if they feel like it's working, then it's gonna work, right?
Yeah.
Or if they feel like it's so yeah, I'm not really sold on it. I feel like you could just stick your hand in cold water, swish it around for a few seconds, and save yourself the money of holding a device that's gonna cool your palms. And another thing is, you have to be kind of careful with the temperature, because if it's too warm, it's not going to work. And if it's too cold, like which would be probably below 45 or 50 degrees Fahrenheit, it's going to cause your vasals to constrict, which then limits blood flow, which then is going to defeat the whole purpose of your blood flowing to cool you off. So
Right.
you're basically living in this 10-degree window of being able to cool your palms off in order to cool the rest of your body off. But I mean, how much blood is in our hands that's going to be cooled off that's going to counteract the higher volume of blood in our body? So I'm not sold on it.
So I just saw when I looked at it, and I saw Huberman on there, and I was like, okay, okay. It starts to make more sense now, because he's one of those people who makes, like, I feel like he makes those YouTube videos that are, let's find the most fringe thing, and then tell the people who watch this video that I'm the only one who somehow has discovered, either I'm the only one that knows about it, or the rest of the industry doesn't want you. They know, but they don't want you to know about it. It's a conspiracy. They don't want you to cool your palms off because whatever, right? So I'm side eyeing everything that he puts out. But this sounds like an excellent project for one of you guys who are watching. So I nominate Carlos, perhaps Jared. What I need you to do is turn your eight. Let's go with Carlos. Jared, it would take a little bit more setup because of where his gym is. So Carlos, I need you to turn off the AC. And plus he's in Texas too. Yeah. All right. So Carlos, turn off the AC in your apartment. And tomorrow I want you to squat. Yeah. I want you to squat until you get hot. Then I want you to go in your kitchen. I want you to stick your hand in the freezer, both your hands in the freezer, until your hands get cool. But don't let the rest of your body cool off. Just your hands. Then I want you to go back and do another set, and then report back to us next week about whether that improves your performance. And then that'll let us know whether this is worth spending money on. And we appreciate your service, Carlos. I know you'll do it. Anybody else that wants to do that, have at it. But I just nominated Carlos because he's got an apartment gym, and so everything's one level, so it wouldn't take him long to get to the kitchen. And I would do it. I really would. But my gym is downstairs. So I mean, just by the time I cool my palms off and then go downstairs, the effect is gone, the environment, and so that wouldn't work out. I was willing. I didn't know I needed to do this when they built my house. Now I'm asking everyone who coaches clients this question. We got the November to December eating festivals starting. If you're of Latin descent, Latin American descent, then it's November to January. Shout out to Three Wise Kings Day. But and so I'm asking like, hey, give me a tip that you can use, to get through this. You, however, the bar's high because you're amazing.
Okay.
So I'm not asking you the question I ask everybody else. I expect you to have an answer ready to go for that other question. Nah. What I want to know is give me a life habit that, in your opinion, more people need to adopt. And if they would adopt this one thing, and you can have some time to think about it, but give me a life habit that people should adopt. And if they adopt it, their life will be better 365 days from now. And they'll be like, man, I'm glad I started doing that last year. So I'll give you some time to think about it. You want me to play?
I got it.
Look at that. Okay. Hold on. Let's give you the big screen. There we go. All right. What is it?
So I've been, when everybody asks me for like kind of advice when it comes to food, I say learn the thought or learn the fact that food has two faces. It has a face that's food is fuel, and it has a face that food is celebration. And stop mixing the two. So what I mean is that like 95% of the time, we're literally, the whole purpose of food is to fuel our bodies, especially for us that are active in the fitness realm. So we understand that like, okay, food is fuel. And then we have to separate the fact that then the other times for special occasions, for holidays, for celebrations, that is when we have food for like a party in our mouth, for the salts and the fats and the flavor and the enjoyment. So it's my biggest thing is learn to separate the two. Learn to be like, hey, it's okay that this meal isn't a feast of flavors and salts and 7 courses. Like its sole purpose is to be just to fuel my body so that I can live and be happy and healthy for the long haul. And it's okay if it doesn't taste good because I just have to bite and swallow it. And when I have my weekend or my social time, that's when I can really like let loose and just enjoy the experience of food. So many people just mash up the two and they expect every single meal to be a party in their mouth, a celebration. And that is not the case. So my advice to take with you for the rest of your life is understand that there are two sides to food. There's a side for fuel and there's a side for celebration, and stop trying to force them together. Keep them separate and understand that it's okay to eat bland food. Nothing bad is going to happen.
Okay, so we're gonna use some real world examples. So the food is fuel. That's I woke up and I'm hungry. That's food is fuel. Celebration is my cousin's making a dish for me for this Sunday, and I can't wait to eat it. That's the celebration, the more the special occasion type thing. And I mean, from what I'm hearing you say is the food doesn't necessarily have to taste bad, but if you look at, let's say you're having the example I use, you wake up, you're hungry, you decide to have a protein shake for breakfast. That's not going to put steak and eggs out of business, but you won't be hungry after you drink it, right?
Yeah.
And if you're like, okay, my calories are this for the day, well then I can't have maybe like the thing with the high fat content and the high calories because or let's switch meals. Let's say it's lunchtime. I'm not going to look at a protein shake with the same level of affection. That's a good word. I'm not going to look at a protein shake with the same level of affection that I will a large pizza, right?
Yeah.
I just don't feel emotionally the same about both, even though they're both food, right? But maybe I had a big breakfast because you eat like a king, and then now for lunch I got to have a protein shake, right? Or maybe it's dinner time and I want to have, like the protein shake, and then maybe I'm just trying to think of like an example, protein shake with some oatmeal, dry oatmeal in it, right? So that it makes it last longer all night. All right, but that doesn't taste great, okay? But it's fuel, right? How tough is that to do though?
For me, it's not hard. I find that initially some people starting out, they're so desensitized to like just the normal taste of food that they struggle because it doesn't have all the butters and the creams and the dressings. But once you just kind of be like, but that like you accept, like that's okay. Like I can eat a baked potato without bacon and cheese on it and be okay. Like nothing bad is gonna happen. Right? It's just kind of just acceptance of this is just fuel. Like I don't have to make it a feast.
I mean, and think too. So think of how many of our meals are like grab and go. I just need to eat something because I'm on the go. I'm driving down the road. So for me, meals like that will probably be the ones that be easiest to replace with like just have a protein shake and just keep going, keep it or a meal replacement shake and just keep it pushing. Because how much do you really enjoy some fast food meal that you have from, in my case, driving, from one state to the other? That's my, when we're doing like a lot of live streams, that's the reality. I'm driving from one state to the other. I'm gonna eat at some point. I can't tell you that any fast food meal I've had during that road trip was like this amazing experience. I was just hungry, or I was like, okay, well, I need to consume something because I'm starting to get sleepy. I'm driving.
Yeah.
And in those cases, I was like, well, I need the effect of it. I don't necessarily need the experience of it.
Yeah. You just gotta eat it. I'm telling you, one of my go-tos every day on the go is I pack a sandwich. I get like fiber whole wheat bread, put some chicken on it, put some like alfalfa sprouts or something, a slice of cheese. It's simple.
Yeah.
And it's you're gonna eat it while you're driving. You're not even paying attention. It's just as convenient as a burger, but it takes 5 minutes to make, and it's better fuel for your body. It doesn't have to be complicated.
Nice. All right. So I've talked about your YouTube channel and all this stuff that you've been doing. So before I let you get out of here, tell everybody, what do you have? So tell us what you have coming up. And also tell us if it's going to be on YouTube or Instagram, because you make content for YouTube, Instagram. Oh, I forgot. Tell us if it's going to be on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok. Because you're everywhere. You're everywhere like air, as the kids say. So yeah. So what do you have coming up? And is it on YouTube? Is it going to be on Instagram? Is it going to be on your TikTok?
I'm not very active on TikTok. I post on TikTok maybe 3 times a year. So that's
If you got something coming up.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Okay, hi.
The only thing I'm really kind of working on right now is now promoting the hybrid competition, because of course I want 40 athletes there. So I'm going to be making content about that on my Instagram and my YouTube to explain people about it. I'm going to be working with a videographer soon here to kind of record little snapshots of the workout so people understand the workout flow, what's expected of the movements. So you can be on the lookout for that. And I'm still in the process of, I want to start doing some training videos on YouTube. I just have been consumed with the hybrid event since kind of late summer, constructing that, making that. I mean, everything, every detail of it, I did. And we're also looking for volunteers. So if you want to volunteer, contact me. I'd love to have you. So that's kind of my next focus is the hybrid event and promoting that and recording content for that. And then continue to post training stuff for people so they know how to train and they can get the results they want.
Okay, so you said you want people to contact you for the hybrid event. How do you want them to contact you?
On there's a link on my Instagram for the hybrid event. They can message me on Instagram, or they can on the hybrid event registration, like info page is my email.
Okay. All right. And y'all make sure y'all don't send any weird stuff to Ashley. She sends me some of the DMs y'all send her. You can do better. You can do better. That's all I'm gonna say. Some of your marriage proposals are interesting, but no. You can do better.
Yes.
And also, she's not interested. I can tell you that now. So that actually covers also how people can get in touch with you if they have questions. Did you do a video about the food and fuel thing?
No. If I did, it was a long time ago. It's probably buried somewhere.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you a video request then before we close. So you've got the hybrid events coming up, and you said you got to do training videos anyway. So maybe you could do some videos about how to train for the hybrid event if you want to compete.
Yeah, I'm actually, that's one of the.
Look at that.
Yep.
Look, we're here. We're right
Yeah.
here. Okay. All right, Ashley, thank you so much for being on here. I know you are super. When I say she's busy, I mean she's literally extremely, extremely busy. So you guys, this was a special treat. I don't even know when we're going to be able to get Ashley back on here again, but I appreciate you coming on here. And I will still be shooting out text messages, asking you questions, because I want to tell you this too, with everybody able to hear, that I value what Ashley does. Now, not only is she one of the most encouraging people that I've met, and I also met you because of Home Gym Con, but you're not only one of the most encouraging people that I know, especially in this space, but also I value, sometimes when I send you stuff, I don't even tell you, but I'm just really kind of just bouncing the idea off of you because I want to see what your reaction is, because that tells me sometimes if it's worth pursuing, even if I plan on doing it myself. And so I don't necessarily have to like reach out to you because I want you to do something. Sometimes I just want to know what you think of it, just globally. Yeah. I just want to know what you think about it globally, and your initial reaction to it helps me refine how I present it to other people, how I go about shooting, if it's a video, shooting the video. So you're one of the people who is, in my opinion, part of why Garage Gym Life is successful. So I appreciate all the support, all the time that I just see you in the live chat, or I see you share the videos and stuff like that. I really appreciate it. And I will do the same for you with this hybrid event because I want it to grow. So if you got anything that you want me to blast out at any time or whatever, just let me know. I'll shoot it out there. I'll do anything I can to help promote it because I want to, same thing I told Jake, I want you guys to succeed in what you guys are doing. All right.
Well, thank you, John. Thank you for having me on.
Of course. And Dustin, congratulations again on that PR, my man. And thank you. All right. You have a good day. And I'll talk to you later. Peace out.
Bye.
All right. That was Ashley the Amazing joining us again from her garage. So that is it that's going to do it for the show. We have coming up next week. We have let's see here. I'm going to make sure that you are here, tuned in. Next week, we're going to get started bright and early at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. You guys make sure that you are here. Don't be late. I love seeing you guys lining up, waiting for the show to start in the live chat. So shout out to all of you guys who make the show possible. And once again, thank you for all your support. Keep on sharing this thing with people, helping us grow. And we'll do it again next week. All right? Peace out.